This is Chicago Hockey Radio with your hosts, Justin Lynch, Charlie Weber, Natalie Chibe, and Andrew Nolan.
Welcome back, CHR enjoyers. Happy CHR Wednesday. We got a big show on the docket today. Blackhawks preseason hockey is underway. We will be covering the Hawks opening game of the preseason. And we got some big guests in the queue today. We got Dana Gray from the Rockford IceHogs commentary. He will be joining the show today. And we have him on right now, I believe. How are you doing, Dana?
I'm doing well. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on. This is a good time to do it. This is a good time of year. I'm excited. For sure.
It really is the most wonderful time of the year. It's so great to have hockey back. I know we've all been very impatiently waiting for it over the offseason, over this long, grueling summer. So definitely good to be back. But I think that's where we should start. First season with the Rockford IceHogs, color commentary last year. How was that?
It was awesome. It was great. I was in Cincinnati the year before in the ECHL.
Yeah.
And then the play-by-play job opened up, I think, maybe 10 days before the start of the season. So it all happened pretty quick. I think I drove up here like the day before the regular season started last year for the first game here in Rockford. And it was awesome. It was a really, really fun team. Obviously, that, you know, as far as a situation goes with the amount of talent and prospects that were on the team last year and that would kind of expect to be the same situation this coming year, it's really exciting because it feels like what happens here in Rockford and the AHL really matters. There's a lot of eyeballs on making sure that these prospects are panning out. So as far as the situation goes, it's been awesome. And the fan base here is really great. It's like the perfect rink for the American Hockey League level. It's always packed. It's always something fun. So I feel pretty lucky. It's an awesome place to be.
That's awesome. What's the Rockford experience been like for you?
It's been great. It's been really cool. I think the connection to Chicago makes it that much more attractive and more fun because obviously it's great for staff. It's great for players, obviously making the drive back and forth. But the people here are so awesome and they're massive hockey fans. We've got the All-Star Classic and the game and the tournament coming up this year here in Rockford, and that was a really nice, I think, message to the hockey fans here in the Midwest and in Rockford that they've been noticed. And yeah, it's a cool spot to be. It really is. It really is.
For sure. I hear a lot of jokes about Rockford in the winter about how cold it is. And it's like, you're really there for the Rockford IceHogs. That is the talk of the town.
It is. Like, I it's not a joke. Like, I can't wear a IceHogs quarter zip or t-shirt around town, and like I swear to God, like every day someone will want to talk about the IceHogs. It is it's the marquee event here in town. That and the new casino we got, the Hard Rock last year. Those are the top two.
Have you spent a lot of time there?
Maybe a night or two.
Yeah.
I'm not the luckiest person in the world, so usually it's a small trip usually.
I feel you.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, just based on being with the IceHogs for the first year, who really stood out to you as an IceHog last year?
I'd say the first half of the year, certainly Nazar kind of was hard to not notice every single shift. And basically those 20 and change games that he played in the American Hockey League, it felt like he was just forcing Chicago to call him up and keep him there. So that was a special talent to watch early on because you could just tell from game to game, and it was a pretty small sample size, his confidence was just growing and growing and growing. By the time that they called him up, he was 2 points a night at least and kind of dominating the league. So that was certainly one to watch. Off the top of the second half of the season, I'd say, and I saw that you had Drew on, I think a couple of weeks ago, it was awesome to watch Comesso in the final couple months of the season and into the playoffs. His stats in the second half of the season speak for themselves, and it's certainly the best pro hockey that he's played. So I'm hoping that he can really kind of carry that into the start of this next year and really string together a full great season. So those two guys bookending the year for me, I think, to watch. And maybe one more name I'd throw out there who consistently just brought it every night is Samuel Savoie,
Mhm.
who's just a blast to watch hockey. He is just a mutant, a pest, a little bullet zipping around the ice on every single shift. He hits someone within the first 5 seconds he touches the ice. And he was coming back from injury last year, and he played the full year, played every playoff game. So he was a really fun player to watch, and I think someone that Hawks fans should definitely keep an eye on as someone that could be maybe even a call up at some point this year, and certainly an integral part in what they're building on top.
Do you see the Andrew Shaw comparisons with him?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I remember getting that, when I was doing my homework in the 24-hour span that I had before we dropped the puck last year. That was kind of the note that I read a lot on him, was these comparisons. And at first I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty lofty. That's a Cup champion who scored a lot of big goals, who was a massive energy guy on some really important teams. So I think at first glance, I tried to take a step back and temper expectations. But after watching him for a full season, I totally see it. Like I was just saying, he is such an impactful player. He's got a great personality. Like guys love him in the room. He's always keeping it fun, keeping it light. And yeah, he battles. And I think I would say he might even be, I think he's faster than Shaw was. Ooh. I hope that's not a slight at Andrew in any sort of way, but Savoie on multiple occasions last year, especially when he gets in those shorthanded positions, or if he's, maybe attacking the puck at the defensive blue line, he is so lethal when he can get up into the space of defensemen up at the blue line, and he just takes them. He's so fast. It's almost like you could see as the year went on, his hands needed to catch up to his speed a little bit. And once those connected, it was really exciting to see. So in short, yes, I see the comparison. They're a little bit different players, but I think they can serve very much a similar purpose on hopefully some pretty successful Hawks teams.
Very nice. Love to hear that. Another player I'd like to ask about, Drew Commesso. We had him on the show over the summer. Just seems like a really nice personality. I look at a guy like that, and he seems like he's NHL ready. It's just with the way the Blackhawks goaltending kind of conundrum is, he's third in line. Would you agree that he's NHL ready? Just, at the moment, there's probably just not a spot for him in this team. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the NHL, like, yes, in short, yes, he could absolutely go up and be more than serviceable and contribute to any NHL club. And I think, but what excites me, and I really appreciate about Drew, and you guys probably got a sense just from chatting with him, is that's not, at least publicly, that's not his mindset.
Yeah.
He is where his feet are. He is focused on how he can better himself in a mental state, in a physical state, to play every game up to his level. So, who knows how it all shakes out as far as this season. And of course, with the goaltending position, that's really the one position where, you can see the depth chart all the way down from Chicago to Rockford to Indy. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear to see. So I think that question is tough to answer, in the sense that I know that, Drew probably doesn't think about it that way. Mm-hmm. He's so grounded and has worked really, really hard, I think, to tune his mental game to be at the part where he needs it to be. And it showed, right? Like, it showed on the ice when he really flipped that switch late February going into March last season, where he just took over things. I mean, in the playoffs, he basically was unbeatable, and it took a really, really good Milwaukee team to score a couple of squeaky goals to prevent him and Rockford from moving on. So I'm just excited to see what a full season, hopefully at that caliber, can be for Drew.
For sure. He just seems like such a chill guy. Another chill guy, Artie Party Levshinov. That's a guy who would look, if they were to give a most improved player award in Rockford last year, I'd probably give it to him. Would you agree with that assessment? I think there's question marks about whether he'll make this Hawks team. I think he's ready, but just thoughts on Artie Party and the improvement he showed in Rockford.
Yeah. Early on, it was so interesting to see Levshinov get adjusted to the professional game. And I think there were so many people that obviously you take him number 2 overall, and that just comes with these massive expectations. And there's such pressure for this pick to pan out and turn into a superstar. Mm-hmm. And I think I saw that kind of throughout the fan base early on, and the pressure. And I think it was important for everyone to remember that this was just his 3rd year playing in North America. He did a year in the USHL, he did a year at Michigan State, and then he misses camp, right? Which would have been, I think, extremely valuable for him to get some time in Chicago, skating in an NHL camp, but he had a little bit of that lower body injury, I think a few weeks out from when camp was supposed to really start roaring up. So he showed up end of October, and yeah, I think it's fair to say that he looked a little bit raw as far as trying to adjust to the game and figure out where he fit into systems. But what was noticeable right off the jump is the talent, right? Like he's so strong. He's such a physical presence. He sees the game extremely well. I think about how he's able to just, find ways to exit his zone, whether that's just skating it up himself. He'll make great 2-line, 3-line passes out of his zone. And as the season went on, he started to get more comfortable showing off the offensive side. End of the year with 22 points and 5 goals. He scored a massive overtime playoff goal just at the end of April. So that was really fun to see. And I think he earned that call up certainly in March. What was interesting is I think he probably played his best hockey of the year when he was up in Chicago.
I agree. Yeah.
Maybe a more organized system, and this isn't a knock on the American Hockey League at all. I'm the biggest fan of what this league can do, the pace of play, what it does for prospects, what it does for veterans. There is exceptional hockey played at the AHL, but it's no joke that sometimes things can be a little bit more hectic, a little less reliable as far as where the other 4 guys are going to be on the ice. And I think Artie really excelled just being in that more professional top tier system with the Blackhawks. So that was really exciting to see. And then he came back down for the playoffs and played really well too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And another guy I want to ask you about, a guy who I could see having a season like Frank Nazar last year, is Oliver Moore. I'm hoping he makes the team. Like, selfishly, I'm hoping he makes the Blackhawks team right away. But if not, and he's sent down to Rockford, I could totally see him kind of just slowly building his confidence and chemistry down there when he's called up to the Blackhawks. Having a season like Nazar. What are your thoughts on Oliver Moore and what you've seen out of him so far, training camp, prospect showcase? Yeah.
Yeah, when we were up in Minnesota, I was doing the games with Charlie Romeliotis, and I think after the first period of their first game, we both kind of just looked at each other like he's so fast as far as skating goes, but he does everything fast. His stick handling is fast. His head fakes are fast. The way that he thinks the game and finds lanes is fast. So I was incredibly impressed with him, and obviously scoring the overtime winner was a really nice setup play too. And who knows if he makes the Hawks out of camp or if he spends time in Rockford. I think either way, like you were saying, it's only going to benefit him. We were talking with Kyle Davidson over that weekend, and I asked him a lot about how his organization, as it comes to that nucleus up top, views the AHL at Rockford. And I think they really value what the American Hockey League would do. He said pretty blankly that most players require time in the AHL. It's just a fact. I mean, you look at some of the epic Hawks teams of the 2010s, a lot of those guys took time to mature in the AHL. Keith was here. There were times that Jalmerson was here. Crawford was like, these guys take time, even if it's just a couple of months. And yeah, don't think we'll ever see Frank Nazar down in the American Hockey League.
I think he would absolutely dominate down there right now.
Yeah. But those 2 and 3 months, and I remember he was talking about it when he made the jump, those were massive for him because you get to build up your confidence. You get a little bit of a better sense of what a pro life is going to be, the schedule, the grind of it all. So if Oliver does spend any time in the American Hockey League, I assure you that they'll feel confident in that choice and know that it's for the benefit in the long run. And I would just, say to all Hawks fans and everyone that's watching with close eyes on the prospects that were here last year, this year, and to come, this huge, massive nucleus, this amazing prospect pool, they're doing the right things as far as how they manage them. They really, really are. And spending a couple of months of Rockford is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, patience is a virtue for sure. Absolutely.
Totally.
I just kind of wanted to get your opinion, or kind of what you're looking for out of Nick Lardis as he's preparing to enter his first year in the AHL for Rockford. Kind of what you're looking for out of him and what you expect this season to look like for him down there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's here or in Chicago, I'm excited to see what I know. The expectations are through the roof, and there's been a lot of jokes the last few weeks about, you score 71 goals.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy, right? Like
Video game
it
stats.
was wild. I remember you'd check on Twitter or something after our games, and you try and kind of keep tabs on some of the top prospects and juniors, and it was like every night it was either 2 goals or it was a hat trick or something, to the point where you thought you were just seeing
over a goal per game.
So it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. So obviously that's not going to happen. And I hope that people understand that.
Yeah.
This is a very different league, but just in hearing him chat about his last year and his excitement to go pro, he understands that. His expectations and mindset is very much just trying to find his way to score, and that's what I'm interested to see. It's a lot different to try and score in the American Hockey League and the National Hockey League than the OHL, and that is not to take away anything from that exceptional season. But can he transition? And that's the conversation that we have quite often with all of these guys, whether they're coming from college, right? If they're coming out of Minnesota, or if they're coming out of Boston University, if they're coming out of Brantford, doesn't matter. If they're coming over from Czech, like, this is the top couple of leagues in the world, and how are you going to find your way? So I think if you look at recent history and how the Blackhawks have handled some of these really top prospects that have had fantastic seasons before, there's no reason to see that he won't figure out, but I'm sure it won't be immediate. And who knows, maybe he'll score. Maybe I'll shove it in my face and he'll score 72 goals this year. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a goal a game. But either way, I'm excited to just, like, he's just a pure goal scorer, right? So that's what you hope carries over. And I'm excited to see it whichever levels he at.
Yeah, definitely be watching plenty of Rockford games to check in and see what he can do down there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd say what's your overall expectations, I would say, of this Rockford season? Are you expecting another season like last year? Like, playoffs should be expected. It seems like the last few years, they're always good to make the playoffs, but have like a quick exit. Would you like to see them, like, I think this team's capable of going on a deeper run this year? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to tell at this point, really, because
we don't
with
know
the
exactly.
AHL, but it's so fun, right? You get this mix of 19, 20-year-olds that are figuring out how to do laundry and learn how to do, professional hockey life, that are uber talented. So you have that part of the team. You have these veterans who used to be regular NHLers that are maybe trying to squeeze a couple more years out of pro hockey, which are vital, of course, for helping those younger guys through. And then there's some middle-aged. When I say middle age, I'm talking like late 20s and stuff like that fill out the roster. So it's this hodgepodge of, really 3 different groups of players at different stages of their career. And so much in an AHL season can change. We saw it last year with call-ups and injuries, and you really don't know maybe until April. I felt this last year really took until the first couple of weeks of April to feel like the IceHogs had their best roster and their best team. So I'm certainly hopeful, and I would think there's, of course, great reason to think that they'll make the postseason. It helps that 5 out of the top 7 teams in the AHL Central Division makes it, because they changed that a few years ago. They really want to encourage as many prospects to get that playoff experience, which I think is great. So yeah, I have no reason to think that they certainly can't go on a run, and I would hope that if it's the likes of Comesso down here and Lardis and the back end. I mean, there's just a plethora of prospects, whether that's Allen, Korchinski, Del Mastro, Levshinov, who knows who's going to be up and down, but obviously that playoff time is really, really important. So certainly hoping that they can make a run, and who knows, maybe the last game will be in the middle of June. That would be great.
That would be sick. I think the city of Rockford, that would feed families in the city of Rockford. So we'll definitely be cheering for that.
Rock Vegas would explode.
Absolutely. Player I want to ask you about is Kevin Korchinski. That's a guy, went down to Rockford last year after playing his rookie year with the Hawks. Where do you think about where he's at right now? Definitely some question marks about whether he'll be starting the season with Chicago or Rockford. What's your gut tell you? Yeah.
I know he had a great year last year, and I think it couldn't have been easy. I remember at the start of last year, I'm thinking, okay, here's a kid who played almost an entire, full NHL season in his rookie year. And now he's going to start in the AHL, probably spend most of the year in the AHL, which he did. And he's got such a great head on his shoulders and a great mindset, and he takes everything in stride. And both his call-ups to Chicago last year, I thought he played really, really well. But there was certainly a directive from the coaching staff and the brass at the start of last year that they were looking for specific things from Korchinski to work into his game. Mm-hmm. And I think it was taking a bit more confidence. It was being stronger and steadier down low. And there was a reason that he was on Rockford's top pair for a lot of last season. And he's getting top power play minutes, penalty kill minutes, and those are such valuable tools. So I'm interested to see how the first couple months of his season goes, whether or not if that's in Rockford or in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Like we were just talking about, there's this plethora of defensive prospects, and you get yourself into a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle because you want to make sure that these young guys are playing, but you don't want to be scratching guys, right? It does them no good to have a Korchinski up top as the seventh or eighth defenseman and not have him playing. So, and I think they all understand that. And we even saw Wyatt Kaiser last year for a good month and change here in Rockford, and he got to eat up some really strong minutes and played some great moments. So it's really great to see that. I think the mindset of everyone, especially in that defense core, which is so uber talented and all in competition with themselves, it seems like they understand the big picture, whether or not they're in Rockford or in Chicago. This is the core that they want. This is the core of the future. And it creates some good, healthy competition. So I guess we'll see where Kevin sits here in the next couple of weeks. But I think either way, I have no reason to think that he won't be taking more strides just like he did in last season.
For sure. We'll definitely be watching for that and be hoping for it for sure. That'd be awesome for sure. And I would say, what storylines are you watching the most during this training camp and preseason for the Blackhawks? And what players are sort of catching your eye the most? And there's this competition going on for spots in Rockford and Chicago, and there's a few players kind of caught in the middle there. Who's really catching your eye there? Yeah.
Well, I think Colton Dock's really interesting, and I saw him getting a lot of love last night. It felt like energy-wise, he was really making things happen in the first preseason game last night. He's a name that was up and down between Rockford and Chicago last year, obviously making his debut against his brother. That was awesome. That was such a cool hockey moment. He's a name that I'm interested to see and hopefully take some more strides, because I've seen what he can do up close when he's really on his game. Like that power forward dynamic of a player, I think it's fair to say has maybe been lost a little bit in the modern day NHL, to have a guy who's got good speed, got great size, is physical, and can score and play both, a little bit of power play and penalty kill. Those are turning into some pretty unique white whales across the game of hockey. So if he's able to pan out and really carve a spot for him in Chicago, I think it helps that team immensely. So that's one name that I'm certainly looking at. Ethan Del Mastro is another. I thought that once he got his full call up in Chicago last year and felt like, okay, I can settle in and unwind a little bit and put my feet here, I thought he was one of Chicago's best defensemen for a lot of the second half of the season that he was up there. So that's the name that I'm certainly interested to see where he gets placed in the next couple of weeks, because he had an interesting year last year. If you go back 2 years ago, Del Mastro was Rockford's AHL All-Star representative.
He had 30, 40 points that year, right? Yeah.
He was scoring at will. And then going into last year, I remember hearing that the coaching staff and the group in Chicago had really asked him, okay, we want to see what you can do defensively. He wasn't quarterbacking PP1 anymore to start the season in Rockford. He wasn't really even playing power play time at all. They didn't, I think it's not how they saw the role for him. And he accepted it with open arms, and he turned into a really, really excellent minute eater, reliable defensively. And of course he can make things happen in the offensive zone. So I give him a ton of credit, because that's not easy to be told, okay, hey, you're fantastic, but we need you to alter your style of play a little bit, especially after you just put out an all-star season. So hopefully here in this next coming year, we get a little bit of that combination. You see the offensive flashes and the apples come a bit more, as well as that really staunch defense that I think we got a good taste of last year. So, but yeah, it's fun, right? Like there's not a lot of teams. When we were at the Prospect Showcase a couple weeks ago, when St. Louis and Minnesota, they really only had like one, if two roster spots that you felt like when we were analyzing their prospects that could make the jump or were fighting for a team spot. And it's very different, obviously, in Chicago. You have this really big pool of players, and everyone is trying to vie and create that healthy competition to make it happen. So it's a good problem to have, obviously, right? Like it speaks a ton to how well this team has drafted and the spots that they've been in over the last handful of years. And if the best or the worst thing that comes out of that is that maybe you have a couple fewer spots than maybe you'd want, then you'll take that every day in the NHL.
So the Blackhawks have a coaching change over the offseason with Jeff Blashill, but they're not the only ones. The Rockford IceHogs also made a coaching change, bringing on Jared Nightingale. What are your expectations of him going into this season? Yeah,
he's awesome. Nighty is the best. When he got hired in late May, I got like 10 texts from random people that I've met or come across in my like hockey journey at different leagues or teams, and all just with the same sentiment, like, you're gonna love this guy. And he's been nothing short of fantastic. He was an assistant in Rockford for 3 years, and then he bet on himself a couple of years ago, and he took a head coaching job in the ECHL with South Carolina, and they had a record regular season last year, won Coach of the Year in the league, and I think it really panned out well for him. So he knows the Blackhawks organization. He knows Jeff Blashill well. Actually, Nightingale played for Blashill for a couple of games in Grand Rapids, I think like 10 years ago. It was just a cup of coffee, but they know each other well, and obviously the Michigan connections. So it seemed kind of like a no-brainer hire. He's obviously a great hockey mind. I love the way that he thinks about the game and his style. If you go back and look at him and Google highlights of Jared Nightingale, you're going to see a lot of fights. You'll probably be sent to hockeyfights.com, and we're seeing that a little bit with some of the signings that he's made that are not contracts guys, and the protectors and the agitators to hopefully take care of some of these younger and smaller sized prospects. So I think it's going to be a fun team. He's a great dude. He makes sure that everything is light and that the room is in a good place. And I only think it'll be good things to come with him.
And how about Rockford this year? They're going to have the AHL All-Star game there this year. I imagine that's pretty exciting. Right. I'm sure for the AHL All-Star broadcast team, hopefully you'll make that team, right?
Yeah. I haven't heard what's the plan for that, but yeah, it'll be a blast. I mean, it hasn't been in the Midwest in I think over 20 years. Yeah. Quite often there. Last year they were in Coachella Valley. They're out on the East Coast a lot, and I understand it. People maybe in the middle of February want to go to someplace a little bit warm, but I'm excited that we've got it here. We were joking that once we were officially named, we're gonna put up some inflatable palm trees around the concourse for the event. Make sure that everyone's getting their little bit of tropical vacation. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for the city of Rockford, and Midwest hockey fans are some of the best, in my opinion. Certainly the best style of play. So it's a cool reward that Rockford gets it this year.
I mean, it's hard to ask this question now because we don't know exactly what the roster is going to look like yet, but way too early IceHogs All-Star predictions. Who makes the team? Yeah.
I know that he would love it, but if Comesso comes out and plays the way that he did to end the season, and he is in fact here with the Hogs, I don't see any reason that wouldn't be a pretty quick pick on my book. He was our man of the year last year as far as guy in the community. He's always doing different appearances. He's always making sure that he's taking care of, the kids and skates and stuff after games and stuff like that. So he's a really good community guy, and I'm sure would be an awesome representative for the Hogs. I'm sure he'd love that too. He would eat it up.
For sure. That's awesome. But we'll ask you a lot of IceHogs questions. What about the Blackhawks? What do you expect out of them this year? Yeah.
I think they're going to exceed expectations. I think people got a little bit maybe timid last year after trying to get a little too excited, and then were disappointed, especially in the first few months of the year. And I feel like the general fan base and mindset has been trying to overcorrect that just so any sort of expectations can be exceeded. But I think Jeff Blashill really is a great hire for this team. He's proved himself at the AHL level and knows how to work with a lot of the younger guys. If you look at the age of like the Hawks roster, it could be an AHL team. That's probably where you would place it if you weren't looking at names and just looking at ages and experience. So he knows how to relate to exactly. Yeah, I love it. And so I think that's a great piece of it. And then this is the next step, right? Of seeing if this core and group of prospects can make the jump. And I don't know, it'd be awesome if they're fighting for some sort of playoff position or what have you. But I think that the general mindset is everyone has confidence in what's building here. If that's a massively shown step this season, or if it's not, it doesn't change people's confidence in what's coming down the stretch. They've set themselves up really well, I think, to create good teams for a very, very long time. But in short, I think they're going to exceed expectations. I think there's going to be a lot of fun hockey to be watched. And if that shows as far as record or playoffs, who knows? But I think you're going to see many, 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 many more flashes of, this is what's coming. Like, this is why we drafted this guy. This is how these two guys can play together. You're going to have a lot more of those moments, I think, this year.
Yes, I think we'd all be here for that. I think absolutely, for sure. And I would say one thing with Kyle Davidson, he's definitely been using Rockford as sort of an outlet to really over-marinate these prospects, keep them down there for as long as they need, for them to be NHL ready. And I would just say my question is thoughts on that process, and you think that that's kind of the right. Every player is different, obviously, in terms of what they need for development, but I think that's the right road to take in terms of making sure these guys are ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah, every NHL team values their affiliations different. Like that's just super clear, and it's one of the things that I noticed really early on when I showed up here is that obviously the proximity between the two teams helps. I really don't think that can be overlooked enough. Like you think of like a Tampa and their AHL teams in Syracuse. Like it's far away. It's tough for their teams to keep eyes and feel like the affiliates are connected. And so I think that's a big piece of it. But Kyle and company have, really put a lot of resources and stock into what goes on in Rockford. It's very common on a regular Tuesday practice in December that Chris Kunitz and Brian Campbell are out on the ice working with guys early, half an hour before the practice starts. That's a good handful of Stanley Cups right there that is helping these young guys out. So it's easy for staff to go back and forth. And I think that the permanent staff here in Rockford has proved what good it can do for guys in the long term. Like we were talking about earlier, like those cup teams, there's a lot of Rockford connections. We had Brian Bickle here last year in our Ring of Honor, and he was first off just an awesome dude to meet and hang out with. And I think he was really touched. Like the recognition, I think really got to him. And obviously his story is so exceptional, and the kind of guy and family guy that he is. And he had his family out here. But that was a cool moment of knowing the connection has been strong for very, very long. Bickle was part of those first IceHogs teams in the American Hockey League here in Rockford. And
they retired Crow's number a few years ago, right? Yeah.
They did, two seasons before. So and he had a great, and we've got another guy, coming in February. I don't think, actually, I know I'm not allowed to say it yet, but
Oh,
a name that I'm definitely excited to have out, and who's made contributions certainly at both levels. I'll put it that way. So it's a cool way to honor the people that have really made impacts at the AHL and NHL level too.
awesome. Love to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have a really quick question. The off season was a very busy time. Everybody was eagerly anticipating the start of this current season, and all of the teams were kind of running amok with their own things, extensions, trades, all of that jazz. But I want to kind of circle in on the Blackhawks. Do you like what they did this offseason? And they kind of culminated everything with those big contract extensions. So, what are your thoughts on those as well?
I think if you had to pick at the start of the summer, going out and spending a bunch of money in free agency or taking care of the guys that you have in house that have a lot of confidence in, I think you'd certainly take the latter. I love the Nazar contract. I love the Knight contract, especially with Frank. It's kind of historical. He to get that amount of money in term, having played 50 or so NHL games, I think should show you the confidence that the
I
organization
saw a
has. Yeah,
stat
what's
like
up?
it's the richest contract ever for a player
Yeah,
that less games. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
But I think that that says so much about how they value him, and I think Frank's time at the World Championships really, I think, opened the eyes to the rest of the hockey world of it can do. So I really liked what the offseason looked like for Chicago, and I think they set themselves up where there's cap space room over the next
Mhm.
couple of seasons. And I don't need to tell you guys some of the big names that are out there that
Oh yeah.
who knows might be becoming available in the next couple of seasons. And I think it could align really perfectly with when this young core is starting to make its ascent into playoff contention. There's going to be guys in the
Mhm.
NHL that want to join that. They're just so. I'm more than okay with none of the big flashy free agent deals. It also wasn't that
Yeah, it's a
that,
shallow
that big of a
class.
Right.
Yeah.
class. And it's a really changing time in hockey too when it comes to contracts. It's just so interesting to seems like no one really knows where. Well, I'm sure the people that need to
Yeah.
know. But where that cap's going to be, and it's this hesitancy. You saw it, I think, a little bit with the Spencer Knight contract and the term. Maybe he could have gotten more term, but he's betting on himself,
Mhm.
and who knows where that cap is going to be in a couple of seasons. And if it continues to grow, it's only going to help a team like the Hawks that is always going to be able to attract the best NHL players just based off of one the market, the city, and then of course what they're building with the core. So I liked it for the offseason. Kyle Davidson is he's making a lot of swings for power. I've been impressed with it.
You're a Davidson truther. Yeah.
I am. I am. I know I'm biased, but it's just been cool to see how the organization from up close goes about business and takes care of the younger players and sticks to the plan. And I really, really hope this season that we just continue to take steps forward.
Not that the point total matters much this season, it's more development, but I saw an over under for the Blackhawks, 67.5. That felt a bit disrespectful to me.
Oh, yeah.
Are you taking the over on that one or the under? Yeah.
I would certainly hope it's over.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's okay, right? Like I'm of the mindset that especially as far as the national media, you know, doubt the team. I'm far more enjoy exceeding
Yeah.
expectations
Mm-hmm.
than going the other way around. So whatever that point total ends up being, like we were talking about, I hope even more importantly that you just start to see the cohesiveness and
Mhm.
flashes of what can really be something special for a really long time.
You've touched on a lot of them, but besides Bedsy, which kind of younger Blackhawks are you most excited to watch this year? Yeah.
Frank for sure.
Yeah.
I know I'm not alone in that.
Oh, for sure.
I think he's a great person. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and now it's just flying with all the confidence in the world on how that can bring. So, and I'd say a couple names on the defensive side. I touched on him a little bit earlier, but Ethan Del Mastro, I think I'm really, really big on what he can bring and be
a producer's big on him.
Consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Smart producer.
Yeah.
It can be a top 4 consistent NHL defenseman. So that's a name that I'm really, really looking forward to. And then I guess I'd throw even Spencer Knight in there too. He certainly qualifies as, on any other team, he'd be a young goaltender. Maybe not technically by average on this roster, but what does he get to go feel like being the guy on a team for the first time? Really, I'd make the argument in his NHL career.
Very nice. I'd like to ask you another career question. You made a joke about this, I believe, in the prospect showcase when you're broadcasting the game. You kind of have to do a little bit of everything in the commentary booth, which is different from like the NHL, for example. You kind of have a color guy in the play-by-play and like a guy behind the bench. But in the AHL, it seems like you kind of have to do all three. What's that experience been like?
Yeah, it's a lot of hats, right?
Yeah,
it's something new every day that you're chucking on. Sometimes it's getting to the arena early to lay out the giveaway for the fans that night. Sometimes it's writing press releases. Sometimes it's doing bench interviews. When I'm on the road and calling the games, like you said, I'm doing the play-by-play color. I'm just talking to myself like a psychopath for 3.5 hours in a booth alone. So, but I love it, right? Like this is, it's so much fun to be ingrained at this level with a team and really feel like you're close to the team and the staff and the players here are so great. But yeah, it's an interesting job. Like you guys understand, like working in sports is amazing, and it comes with its sacrifices too. And it's a lot of weird hours. It's a lot of being far away from family on holidays, and it's showing up a lot in the mornings and not really knowing what's going to happen. But I'd take that 10 times out. If I had to show up to a desk from 9 to 5 and clock in and know exactly what I was doing, it wouldn't last very long. So I'm certainly not complaining with all the different tasks that are part of my role. And yeah, I mean, I love doing the play-by-play. Certainly what I've always wanted to do and my favorite part, I guess, technically of the gig, but all of it together makes it that much more special.
I can relate. Dana, you've been super gracious of your time. I would say one final question. When it's not hockey, what are you focused on? What are kind of your favorite hobbies to kind of decompress throughout the season? Yeah.
I've gotten pretty into running over the last few years.
Okay.
As wild as that sounds. And I know people that gets met with different, trust me, a few years ago, people would say they like to run. And I'd say, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Away from what issues do you have? But especially when we go on the road too and go to different cities, I found it's a cool way to kind of explore, and get to know different areas. So that's definitely one thing. I've tried to get better at baking, not extremely well, especially over the pandemic. I was living in Manhattan, pretty holed up, and I started making a pretty mean sourdough.
That was the COVID trend, wasn't it? Sourdough.
Got into the muffin game a little bit. I need to start bringing that back on some of the off days. I need to start whipping off the baking skills again.
Yeah.
So that'll be my I guess my resolution for you.
I mean, I know some people name their sourdough starters. Do you have a name for your sourdough starter?
I did not get that deep into it, but I'm
Dang.
open to it. You can hit the comments.
Yes, everybody.
Let me know.
Yes, everybody comment something that Dana should name his sourdough starter. We're gonna get him on that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We'll let you know what the chat comes up with. Thank you so much for joining the show, Dana. You're welcome back anytime. Best of luck with the Rockford IceHogs season. And I think hopefully we'll be watching you in the NHL one day for sure. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Great to be with you guys. And if you ever want to come out for games out here, you got my contact. Just let me know and we'll hook you up and get you everything you need.
For sure. We plan
Thank
it. We'll
you.
definitely attend some IceHogs games
Yeah.
this year. Me and Nolan plan it for sure. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the
you.
rest of your day and have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dana Gray of the Rockford IceHogs. That was a lovely interview.
Yeah.
Good stuff, simply lovely, as Max Verstappen would say. It's nice to learn more about like how like the different leagues and like how different like roles are kind of played out differently. Like a commentator in the NHL versus AHL, it's a much different ball game.
Yeah.
Different skills at play, and definitely it's a whole different world down there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in every single aspect of sports, like the different leagues, everything is just so different. Like when I worked in baseball for a minor independent league team, it was starkly different from working in the MLB. And hockey's like that too. I mean, you got to pitch in everywhere. It's not just like one thing. You have to pull more weight than you think, and it's amazing. It's a great thing to be a part of.
No, for sure. And I believe it is time to get into the opening game of the Blackhawks preseason. They take the L in Detroit, 3-2.
Yeah.
Wins, losses of the preseason, it's not that deep. It's the preseason. You know what they say about the preseason? When you win, it's so back, your team's going all the way. When you lose, the game doesn't matter.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
right.
It doesn't matter. It didn't happen. The only thing that happened was Bedard.
That's a good segue right
right.
there. He was definitely one of the highlights for the Blackhawks. Just an absolute bomb on the second period on the power play from Sam Rinzel. I think we're going to say that a lot more this season. Rinzel to Bedard in the power play. That's exactly what you want to see. Nazar, the secondary assist to well. So you got Nazar to Rinzel to Bedard. Like that's future SpongeBob reference. That is exactly what you want to see. So that was a positive. Not really much else positives, to be honest. Like Soderblom was really good. 40 saves on 43 shots for Soda. He had his absolute work cut out for him. He was working down there. It was like the airplane scene, man. He was the pilot. He was sweating in the crease, but he had a really strong game. I reckon he's got a little extra motivation. He's got some good goalies in the system behind him in the pipeline, like Drew Comesso, Adam Gajan. So yes, he just got extended, but there's definitely some pressure for him to keep that job. So
Yeah.
I think for him too, it's like, man, like he could really push Spencer Knight. Like that could be a really good 1A, 1B tandem for the Blackhawks. Like goaltending is not really something I'm concerned about this year. It's a young tandem, but I think it's going to be a strong tandem. It's the young defense in front of them that will be interesting to follow. And definitely some growing pains in that first game. They were heavily outshot, heavily outpossessed, outplayed. Again, first preseason game, don't want to overreact. I reckon a lot of it might have to do with the fact that they had 5 consecutive days of training camp leading up to this. So a lot of busy skates. Blackhawks been working the boys pretty hard. It definitely felt like their legs weren't quite under them. But that's okay. I think that's what preseason's for. It's for getting reps. It's for learning. It's for growing. And also first game under Jeff Blashill too, in his own stopping grounds in Detroit. So, got to learn the new systems and stuff. That's going to take time. And now is the time to do it for sure.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily a painful watch. Like,
No.
Some of these Blackhawks games, you're like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But they came close. They came close, and I feel like that's a lot more than we could have said a little bit ago.
Narrowly edged.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it wasn't a hard watch at all. I mean, I saw a lot of things that I liked out there. Saw a lot of things that I didn't. Cough, cough. Lucas Reichel, all Swedish, no finish.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, I know, but I think the number one thing that these players need to work on is just shooting.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah.
They have people who are willing to set them up for some great shots, great plays, but they're not finishing. They're not doing that. So I feel like that's another thing that they kind of need to work on and prioritize over the next couple of games, couple of practices. But other than that, I mean, they didn't look bad. It was an easy watch. I was happy that hockey is back. I'm so excited that hockey is back, and it was great to see the boys back out on the ice again.
It really was a beautiful sight. It's been such a long summer. So to see Blackhawks hockey back on my TV, it felt like it was a fever dream, man. It felt like it was too good to be true. So that was really nice to see. And, nice to see Bedsy again. And, man, his speed was so noticeable. It was noticeable having attended training camp on Sunday, but he was moving out there, man. He was absolutely flying. You could definitely tell he gained at least a step, which is what you want to see. Was playing with confidence out there. Yeah, he's playing the Wings B team. He's effectively the Grand Grand Rapids Griffins. So like you would kind of expect him to get on the board in a game like that. But no, I really like what I saw of him. And a lot of other young guys, Renzel was solid. Like what I saw from him, quarterback in the power play. Oliver Moore, I like to see him be a little more selfish. He had some chances to kind of shoot the puck like you referenced there and took the pass.
Too cute, make the extra
Yeah.
pass. It's like at a certain point, just shoot. And I feel like
Just fire the puck on that.
Oliver Moore,
that
we
whole
do
line
not.
was doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Oliver Moore, we do not need you to be a golden retriever at this specific moment of time. Now is the time where you need to turn into a pit bull.
Ooh.
Do it.
A hound dog.
I like that.
No, because like how you guys were saying, he was being like a little too like selfless and he was being too cute. And I'm like, just attack.
Yeah.
Attack.
Yeah.
Take initiative. Attack. Don't golden retriever this time. There's media
definitely.
availability to do that.
Yeah.
Just hound it. Roo, 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 roo. Like, go, dude.
Like the speed was definitely on display. I think 2 or 3 icing calls got waved off in the first period just from Blackhawks hustle. I think one was Bedard, another was Moore. I think
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I mean, just from the jump, Bedard's speed was obvious. He's all over the ice. He was making board plays. He even threw a nice hit down in the neutral zone.
I
and
saw. Yeah, he
took
was
the puck off. I was
Yeah.
surprised. There wasn't. It looked a little close to a penalty, but. He was, he was doing everything that they need him to do. He was being physical. He was being, the kind of the tempo setter, going out and, showing his speed from the get-go. So I think that's really good for the other guys on the team.
No, for sure. You bring up penalties. That was a
was the
negative.
killer.
Way too much penalties. Like the Hawks took 5 penalties. PK went 4 for 5, so solid.
Yeah.
Although we'll say the one PK goal, it was pretty easy for the Wings.
They gave Soda no chance there. I mean, you got completely, I think there was one guy that is basically lined up the center of the ice, but no one was on that half of the ice when the goal was scored.
Yeah.
It was completely open. So, that penalty was the dock penalty, I think.
Correct, yeah.
And that seemed like a pure frustration penalty as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he nearly got tipped the pass in from the blue line. He would have had possession on a breakaway, and then it's behind the net. And he's mad he didn't get the puck at the blue line, so he kind of threw a slash.
2 for slash.
Yeah, so that's a little disappointing.
Jonathan Tays
but
reference Wolverine.
besides that for Doc, I mean, I loved how he was being aggressive. Like him and Austin Watson were at it all night.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you want him to be, that top line, skill and gritty player along with Bedard. I think that's really good to see from him.
That's what the doctor's got to do if he
Yeah.
wants to make the team. He's got to be a dog out there. He's got to be a hound, like you said. A dog with a W. Yeah, he's got to play with that nasty grit.
He's some
Pit
dogs.
bull. Pit bull.
I love that.
Attack.
I like what I saw from Wyatt Kaiser as well. He had the other Hawks goal. Absolute snipe job from this guy, fresh off the contract extension. It was kind of a nice play by Artie leading up to that. Who one of the highlights of the game for him, because otherwise he kind of struggled a bit out there. I'm gonna be honest.
A lot to forget for Artie.
Yeah,
I mean,
learning moments. Yeah,
tough passes that he couldn't hold in at the blue line, and then
it wasn't just him. A lot of the Hawks defense struggled.
a lot of people just
Korchinski was rough.
could not hold on to the puck. I mean,
Yeah.
even Nazar was fanning on some passes last night.
It's rust, shaking
Overall,
off the
it's
rust.
the first day of
Yeah.
playing a real game, so I understand that. But yeah, Lev Shinov, great way to enter the zone there.
Great
and
break-in.
find Aiden Thompson,
Right.
who took a second and then found Kaiser. Great screen at the front of the net to just not let Kosa see the shot, and top left for Kaiser.
I believe it was Moore at the screen there too. So
Yeah.
he did give out on the score sheet, but he gets kind of the unofficial assist on that goal. He kind of made that happen. So now that was a nice play there. Definitely like to see that. And it's just frustrating because we tied the game late and then we kind of let them answer right away. It was the same thing that happened when Bedard scored. We let them answer right. I mean, we were used to that as Blackhawks fans. We get on the board and then we let the opposition score right after. So that's something to work on. But again, it's just preseason hockey.
We're pretty used to how they were hounding us with the shots too. That third period just felt like last season.
Yeah, we were getting kind of cooked there. But you know what? The Lion does not concern himself with a preseason shot differential, right? Like
Exactly.
There are greater problems at play than that. So I'm not going to tweak about that too much in the preseason. In the regular season, if we're getting outshot 43-17, I'm probably going to throw something. But preseason, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Yes, is Charlie the dog and not Charlie the human? Is
Hey, Charlie
he
the
really
dog.
wants
Hi,
to
Charlie dog.
be on the. Do you have anything to say, Charlie, about the Hawks? Looks like he's got nothing to say.
Yeah, no.
But good to see him joining the show today. But yeah, both mostly youth lineups for both squads, for the Wings and the Hawks. I would say the Hawks had a bit more talent on the ice, so I was actually a little surprised that they didn't come away with it. The Wings really, it was basically the Grand Rapids Griffins. Like they really didn't have much of any NHL players out there besides like JT Compher. They had Sandy Pelika could make the team, Berggren, like so they had some guys in there, but Mazer,
Casa.
Yeah, Carter Mazer. Every time they kept saying Mazer, I kept thinking Nazer.
Well,
yeah, Nazer.
That's how people are mispronouncing it, right? Nazer.
Yeah,
and Mazer. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Nazar, Nazer. I still don't know if it's is it Nazer or Nazar. I call him. I say it both ways.
Frank, I think it's Nazar.
It is Nazar. Yeah.
People.
No, it is Nazar. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I forget which podcast it was, but they kept saying Nazer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Mazer. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that kept tripping me up during the broadcast. Like, and I was also, it was just good to hear the voices of Darren Pang and Rick Ball again.
Right.
Like, I missed hearing them talk. That's a good duo in the booth there. It was really nice to hear from them again for sure. So that was nice. I like the lines they're rolling too. Although I will say, Reichel, first game of the preseason, he got to prove it and didn't really do so with Bedard in the top line. Bedard he had a goal. He should have had like 2 or 3 assists. He set Reichel up on a tee. That's the way you're referencing earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like within the first 5 minutes of the game. He set Bedard up. Bedard set Reichel up, on a tee and just couldn't finish it. So
bad day for Reichel stands.
Yeah, all Swedish, no finish from Reichel, like you said.
Right.
So again, it is what it is. Doc up there is wrecking havoc. I liked Oliver Moore paired with Frank Nazar in the second line. I think those two could definitely showcase a lot of speed and talent together for sure. And they even play them with a Bedard a little bit. I like to see it for fun. Let's see a more Nazar Bedard line. Just give it to me once. Like I'd love to see what that looked like. I think that'd be a ton of fun.
I low-key want to see a more Nazar Reichel line.
Reichel, that's like the 3 dragons you got, and then Reichel's kind of off
Reichel's
the side
the silly
there.
one.
Reichel's the silly one.
No, yeah. But honestly, it would be interesting to see Reichel play with more.
Yeah,
I feel like they're both fast enough, and I feel like they really match each other's speed. So I feel like that would be a very interesting line to see, and maybe we could see that in the preseason. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, these lines were pretty good. Yeah, Doc, Bedard, Reichel. I definitely thought Reichel was going to do more, but hey, listen, I know we
Rant's
kind
coming.
of say that like, oh yeah, it's Reichel, what do we expect? But I also kind of want to go back to the point that we were saying where it is just the preseason and Bro probably hasn't played a actual game in a while. So maybe just cut him like 0.0001% slack. But no, like it's true. He should have done something with that shot. I mean, he got set up perfectly. There's no excuse for that.
Now, Bedard's vision, like he was just setting guys up on a tee, which is exactly what you want to see. Yeah, for sure.
He seemed to be getting a little frustrated that nothing that he set up was going anywhere.
I could see him a few times as the body language was
the
like,
lack of everyone else.
What do I got to do here?
Yeah, why aren't you guys Connor Bedard? Why can't you finish that? Yeah,
he was definitely the best player on that ice, and it wasn't close.
Easily.
He needs help. Somebody help him.
That brother needs help.
You know who else looked good last night? I will say Sam Lafferty. He was noticeable.
Sam the man.
Yeah.
He was
good
noticeable.
to see him
I
back.
mean, he was getting in on the board plays. He was hitting guys. I mean, he was starting off the rush, and he was, keeping the rush going by taking good passes up ice. And, I just thought Sam had a good, solid overall game.
No, I was impressed with Lafferty. Again, growing pains for the defense, but that's to be expected. Young D, it's going to take time. Like the units they were on for the power play, that was solid. Overall, Blashill again. A little quote from Blashill I think is worth getting into, kind of regarding the loss. I said everything is new, systems are new, and we played like we were thinking. When you think a lot, you play slow. They beat us to pretty much every loose puck. It didn't surprise me. I knew we were going to be tired, and our systems aren't natural yet. I'm okay with that. That's why we're putting the work in. You can kind of see it there a little bit. I think just maybe some training camp fatigue there. Yeah. But maybe that's a positive going to preseason play. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's pretty much all we got for for a preseason. We're not doing post games for the preseason.
Yeah,
but
the only other thing I would add is that it was announced before the game, but Nathan Bem, Parker Holmes, Jack Pridham, and Merrick Vanaker are returning to their junior teams just as they start the season. So this was the one preseason game that they wanted to get those guys into before they head back down to juniors. So
yeah, no one really surprising there. Hawks
Right.
don't play again, by the way, until Saturday. I have no idea what's up with that. I guess they get a 3-day break here. So
Rest up.
But I mean, it's been a grueling training camp, so maybe they could use that after a week.
it looked like they could use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a lot better performance just overall in terms of, crisp play the next preseason game.
And I'm going to speed run some prospect talk here. We got Frundell assist in Sweden, so good to see that ahead of Frundell Friday. And then we got another Kanserov assist, so good to see our prospects cooking.
On the game-winning goal in overtime for Kanserov, I might add.
That's
Good,
right.
good guy alert, primary assist. It looked beautiful.
Yes, sir. You love to see it. All right. I think that's going to do it for Blackhawks Hour. We will be back on the second half of the show for NHL Hour. We will be bringing on James Murray from Everything College Hockey, not Impractical Jokers. We will see you then on NHL Hour.
Yeah.
See you then.
All right, CHR enjoyers. Sorry for that, technical difficulties here, but we are back for take 2, stream 2. I guess we're just splitting them up today. We're going to do a Hawks Hour stream and an NHL Hour stream. What do I call that? A happy accident here. Well, what do we think? Yeah. It's all gonna. We're here now. We're good. We're back, and that's what you do. You things happen on the fly, and you make adjustments. It's just like just like a hockey game. So, we're back. We are happy to be back. NHL Hour of the show. Friendly reminder to subscribe if you haven't already. We're at 979 subs. We're 21 away.
Shout out Stan Mikita.
You beat me to it. I was just about to say Stan Mikita. We are 21 away from 1,000 Stan Mikita reference. We are so close. If y'all can help us out there, and maybe when we get to 1,000, we won't lose streams. So hopefully we'll work on that. And if you're listening to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate that a ton. That helps us out a lot. And don't forget the CHR merch drop at the www.alithionetwork.com. You can get some CHR merch much better than this hat I'm wearing right here. That's kind of makeshift. The merch is of much higher quality than that. So really appreciate that a ton. And NHLR of the show, we will be bringing on James Murray in a little bit, not from Impractical Jokers, James Murray, from Everything College Hockey. We'll bring him on to discuss college hockey and the like. So really looking forward to that. That should be a good time. All right, NHL Hour of the show. Where should we start? Where would we like to start today, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah.
I think maybe we should start with a little bit of Alex Pietrangelo news.
Sure. We could start Pietrangelo.
Yeah. So everyone kind of assumed he was not gonna take another game played in the NHL, that he was done. But now he's saying that surgery is on the table for him in terms of finding the solution for his injury to get back on the ice. Obviously that'll be a long journey post surgery, but he does seem open to the idea of coming and trying to get back to the league here. So what do you think about that?
It's exciting. I feel like they were a little premature with those reports. They were kind of just saying it for him. Oh, yeah, he's out for the season at least, and probably for his career. And Pietrangelo's like, whoa, no, I never said that. A return was always, I think, on the table, and they'll discuss it, right? They'll have conversations with family, of the like, make a decision for him. But I hope to see. I like Pietrangelo, one of the more underrated defensemen from the 2010s. So I hope he can make a return in the future. That would be nice, and at least out for the season. So tough news from the Golden Knights in that regard. But yeah, it would be nice to see him make a return in the future for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. As one of the premier defensemen over the last 10 to 15 years, I think the game is better when Alex Pietrangelo is in the league.
For sure, right? Just like the game is better with Jonathan Toews in the league, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
I love it.
Last night was the first step back towards that. I think he looked pretty comfortable from what I saw. I caught a little bit of the game, and Twitter was saying he could hold his own still. Granted, he was playing with the Manitoba Moose out there. So
yeah. There's only so much you could take away.
Yeah, there's only so much you can take away from preseason game one. But first line center, wearing the A, first line power play center. He's in the roles that Toews of old should be in. So
and he looked like himself out there. He didn't look out of place. Like, this isn't prime Jonathan Toews, but he looked like he belonged out there and hasn't really lost much of his step. Yeah.
Okay, so from Jonathan Toews to a little college hockey talk. How about that, actually?
Oh, yeah, good transition.
Yeah, not really. But we do have on James Murray from Everything College Hockey, and it looks like he's actually sitting in a locker room right now.
Oh, wow.
Or is that just your awesome studio? Where are you at right now, James? How's it going?
Good. How are you guys? No, I'm in the studio right now, but pretty cool to see Mr. Tays wear an A last night for Winnipeg, and Bedsy get the A, and just good to see Tays back in hockey, playing hockey, and former Fighting Sioux alum, and he's the guy. So no, college hockey season's around the corner. I'm ready to go. How about you guys?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
we're
for
all
sure.
doing great.
We're all
Yeah.
really excited for it.
Yeah.
All doing well. College hockey, it's going to be a fun season on the horizon here with all the transfers from junior hockey in Canada
I'd
to the
love to
U.S.
hear.
I think that's probably where we should start. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, we got you. Yeah. I don't know where you went, but
You guys got me?
yeah, we
Yeah,
got
we
you.
got
Yep,
you.
we got
We
you.
got you.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, no. So I guess where to start is all these guys coming from the CHL and the NCAA. What are your thoughts on the transfer portal that just happened?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a learning curve for the coaches, for the players that were currently in the NCAA last year, and now with the CHL guys coming in. I think the overall product of the game is gonna be better, going to be faster, and it's tough. Some guys are going to lose roster spots over it, but I think overall college hockey is gonna just be a better game overall. And I think hopefully we can expand and get some more Division I teams where these guys can come in and fill spots on those new teams as well. So not too many guys are losing spots, but yeah, like I said, the overall product's going to be better.
Yeah, I guess we got to start with the number one prospect
Oh, you
that
beat me
transferred in
to
there,
it, damn
Gavin McKenna to Penn State. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think between them and Michigan State, two good options for him. We're going to watch him week 1 at Arizona State. They had there for opening week next week, so excited to watch him play there, and pretty cool for college hockey, and great to see that a player of his caliber can get paid that kind of money to come in there, and it's going to be interesting though. A lot of pressure on a young kid to come in the NCAA is the number 1 feeder league for the NHL, so he's going to be battle testing going against guys that are 24, 25, that are going to be looking to put a shoulder into him. So he's got to keep his head up, but I think he's going to succeed at this level. I'm excited to see what he can do, and he's joining a very talented team at Penn State with a good coach in Guy Godowski. So I think he's going to fit in just fine. Might take him a couple games to get used to the pace and play with some bigger guys, but I think he's going to have a hell of a year this season. So.
What are you going to put the over under for points for him? Is it crazy to say he could have a Paul Correa type season, drop 100 this year, or am I off my hinges there?
I think a little bit. I think he can get to 80. I mean, he's going to be playing with Aiden Fink. I know I talked to Fink a couple weeks ago. They don't know who the center is going to be yet, but if it's Serrato or whoever it is, that they're going to put up some crazy numbers. And in the Big Ten, where it's a very offensive conference, he's going to get his fair share of points this year. But I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be up for the Hobie, and he's going to get above 60 points.
Yeah, I think you were just alluding to the Big Ten as the conference. Between the big three, in my opinion, Hockey East, NCHC, or the Big Ten, due to the moves this season, what do you think is the best conference in college hockey going into this year?
I mean, it's tough not to say the NCHC with how many championships they've pulled out of like the last 10 seasons. So, and they won it again last year in Western Michigan. So I think that league it's more defensive. You see a lot of guys like the Big Ten make that transition to the NHL and Hockey East. I'm still sticking with the NCHC though. Just with they got some older guys, it's tough and not as offensive, but there is plenty of talent in that pool. And same with Hockey East. I'm still going to stick with NCHC though because they seem to come out on top at the end of every season, and I don't think that's going to change. I think the CHL guys coming in, they're still going to these NCHC schools, Hockey East, and all that. But at the end of the day, there's some really good programs over there, and I think we might see a championship come out of that conference again this year.
Do you think it's going to be Miami? I mean, I'm wearing my Miami stuff as an alum of the Miami hockey. So
No, I think y'all are tanking this year.
yeah, hey, we're on the rise.
Recording
all right?
in progress.
You know what? I just interviewed Noreen. Tough. We just put out a clip, and I got to change it. Name was spelled wrong in the end, so that was tough. But got it right in the caption. But no, you know what? He's a really good guy, and first chance I got to meet him this past week. We were at the USHL Fall Showcase, and meeting with scouts, meeting with his Division I coaches, NHL representation there too. It was just cool to see what he's doing at Miami. And obviously, he came in, has got to make a lot of roster moves and build that program up. But he's got a good spot in Miami of Ohio, and beautiful campus, obviously, in rink, and I think the guys are going to buy into him. So, championship on reach this year, but to take a step in the right direction, I think that's going to happen this year for them. And they got some good transfers coming in, and again, good conference to play in. So that's attractive to a lot of prospects.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Katy experience is unmatched. Me personally, I've been to a couple of games down there. Both of them were not great products on the ice, but you can definitely tell like the atmosphere in the arena is nice. One of the big things that I look at with you guys at ECH is you guys do all the in-depth going into locker rooms, day in the lives and stuff like that. I actually know one of your video producers. I want to shout out Paulie. Paulie works with you guys. Yeah, Paulie's a great dude. So I just wanted to ask you your opinion. What's the best place that you've been to, and what is the most underrated place you've been to?
Best experience overall. I mean, I love Western Michigan. Not the nicest rink yet. They're getting a new arena. Their student section's crazy, and they've gone crazy for us. So I always appreciate them, and one of our first schools as well. But my favorite place, I think, is Maine, and just getting to experience that. And we did a show with Victoria Arlen from ESPN last year, and did a pregame show there, and they had 2,000 students out there. Like, it was just packed. Before the game, and it's freezing out there, but that student section, the environment once you get inside the Elfond and the student section overhanging the goalie, it's actually unbelievable, and one of the most unique atmospheres in hockey in general. So that was my favorite, though, and I always liked their school and the colors, everything they got going for them, and Ben Barley in the way as the head coach now. To see them go to the tournament, obviously they got upset in the first round last year, but I think they have something special there. It's really cool for college hockey to have that unique experience. You don't get that in the NHL or USHL, so really cool to see. But most underrated spot I would say is Colorado College. Beautiful arena, beautiful city. Great staff there as well, and just getting to go there, doing a day in the life with Zach Wisdom, who's now at Western Michigan, but getting to see just all the behind the scenes stuff. CC is unbelievable, and it's very, very great environment to watch a game too. There's not a bad seat in the house. Like I said, brand new facility. It's top state of the art, so it's top in college hockey. But very underrated spot. Not as many students as the other schools have, but it's still they still have a good student section. It's the general public love their team, and just great spot to live.
You brought up Western Michigan. What a run from them last year. Think they could go back to back this year?
Yeah, it's losing bump is going to be tough for them and Washi, and but they got Slukinski back in between the pipes this year, and I think they got some good recruits in Whitelaw, and like I mentioned, Wisdom coming over and some good freshmen coming in, and I think they're going to be just as good as last year. They still got Firstweiler leading the way, and such a great coach. A tough conference though. They might not enter the tournament with as high as a seed, but they're gonna be tough to beat once they get to the tournament. I think they're in for sure, and I'd be shocked if they didn't make it this year. They might even be better, but losing Alex Bump is a tough loss for sure, though.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite this year? Would you have to say? Yeah, in terms of taking home a national championship.
BU. Yeah, Boston. With Eiserman returning, Hudson returning, and at the goalie back, they got everyone. I mean, a lot of the guys come. Jack Harvey's another guy. Sasha Bonin coming in. They got so many pieces. They got just Pandolfo too. The way he's got this team to the Frozen Four the last couple of years, it's just they're going to be a tough out. I don't see them losing. They got so much talent, and we talk about the Big Ten, Hockey East too. So much offensive firepower that it's going to be hard for these teams to slow them down. So,
as Hawks fans, we have to ask about Sasha Boisvert. What do you think about what he could do in that squad?
Yeah, I know. I saw him at North Dakota last year, and he was very impressive. So now that he's going to have a little more offensive firepower with him, I mean, that could be a kid that wins the Hobie Baker this year. So, great pick for the Hawks, and I think that's going to be a big year for him. It's not easy to transition and go to a different school, especially across the country, and fit in with a new team. But when you have that talent, it makes it a little bit easier. And a good kid too, from what I could tell, and got to interview him last year. But I think it might take a little bit for him to get going, but like I said, you're playing with Cole Eiersman and those guys. It makes it a lot easier. And Cole Hudson just feeding you the puck. I mean, he's so talented that he's going to get his scoring opportunities this year and burying a lot of them.
Everybody's talking about the obvious Cam McKenna in terms of Canadian junior transfers, but what about a guy like Porter Martone in Michigan State? I feel like that's a guy that could have a really big season there.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching him. I think he might be the best freshman this year. He's got the size and offensive skills. So, and again, another guy that's entering a team with a ton of talent. So, and great coaching. And in that Big Ten play, there's going to be a lot of offense. But I think his size sets him apart from the other guys coming in. And yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him. I haven't watched him play yet, so I want to wait for that. But I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, both of those teams that we were just talking about, BU and MSU, were both in the top 20 poll that just got released, the top 20 preseason poll. Do you think there was a team that was too high on that ranking, or do you think there was a team that was too low on that ranking? What are your thoughts?
I mean, we had our own rankings that we came out with too, and a lot of the teams are in there. I think they had Minnesota State in that top 20, and we didn't. I think they're right there. They just lost a lot. I think that was the only reason we didn't put them in. But no, I mean, a lot of the rankings, like I said, were similar to ours. I think outside of the top 10, like a lot of it's all going to change. It's preseason rankings where you can't read too much into it, but your teams need to stay healthy and all that. But a team that's not in there, like, yeah, I think Colorado College will be close again. There's been in that conference, and that's the thing. Like, you get your non-conference play, and then you're playing in this conference. Well, all these teams in this conference, outside of Miami, we love Miami, but
Yeah, there we
are
go.
ranked in that top 15. So it's like you're playing, and it's the hardest thing to do in college hockey is get a sweep. So you're getting your wins here and there versus these top ranked teams. And when it comes down to pairwise in college hockey, those wins really help your case to get into that top 20. So I think CC's right there. I mean, there's probably a couple other teams out east as well that could be in there. I think Northeastern, they got a lot of guys coming in. They might find their ways in there too. But yeah, we'll see. Those are a couple teams I'm just kind of looking out for. And again, same thing where they have a tough schedule and they're going to beat these teams when they're not supposed to beat them. But it's tough to beat the same team 2 nights in a row, especially in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I think our producer over there has got a question.
Yeah, I do. No, what's going on, James? Hi, I'm Tassos, the guy who DM'd you. Oh,
There we
let me
go.
see if I can get on camera. Okay. Mentioned Gavin McKenna. There's also a few other draft eligibles like Keaton Vierhoff. My question is, do you think for some guys this transition to college hockey isn't going to be maybe a good move for them development wise? Vierhoff is projected to go number 2 if he doesn't maybe have a season that everybody expects. Like, could he fall down to like 10, 15? While this could positively impact some kids, could this also negatively impact some kids too?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's the case. And I think, listen, there's more than just the hockey aspect of it too. Like, these kids now have to go to school and all that. To manage that, it's a different ball game, and you're practicing hard Monday through Thursday in most weeks. Then you're playing Friday and Saturday. So I think it is the best system for development for these prospects. But at the same time, like, we did a day in the life with Colin Potter at ASU this summer, and he ended up dropping in the draft a little bit. I thought when I watched him last year, he's so fast and really good kid on top of that. But he dropped to the last pick in the first round of the Flames, and I thought he should have gone way earlier. But that happens every year. Teams just don't like what they see all the time. But as far as the developmental piece, it's NCAA is the best route to develop. But I don't think every kid coming from the CHL or overseas is going to fit into that team and fit their mold or just be successful right away. It's I don't think it's realistic to expect that of every kid. So I think we will see some guys either A, go back to the CHL, or B, just stick it out but not have the years that they wanted to or that we're expecting them to.
I know Spin Chicklets does a series where they tour some college campuses and check out some of the hot shot hockey facilities. Who do you think, which college hockey program has the top-notch best hockey facilities? Yeah.
Yeah, for all the ones we've been to, I mean, North Dakota, Minnesota, we've been there each a bunch. Sacred Heart has a really nice one out east, Sneaky. A lot of people don't know of that school, but beautiful facility. Like I mentioned, Colorado College is great. Maine just got theirs redone, so we're going to go out there this year and see the new area that they got done. So new locker room and everything. UMass was really nice. Where's another top one that I want to say? I mean, like ones like Michigan, just like old school. But I love the vibe of Yost and that whole arena. But as far as like top of the line facilities like Nodak, Minnesota, Maine's new one's gonna be nice. Sacred Heart, yeah, those are majority of the good ones. CC and Denver is really nice too. We're gonna go out there this year. So
Have you been down to Miami yet?
No, trying to get out there this year as well.
Absolutely,
That
yeah. It's a
was
hell
the
of a
top
time
of
down in
coast,
Oxford.
so,
I don't know if
yeah,
Miami's
it looks
top of the
beautiful
order
from
there.
what I see.
The list.
It looks
Hey,
beautiful.
you know what? It's a hell of a facility down there, hell of a campus down there. So we need to get as much representation as possible.
I respect it.
I can vouch for the campus. It's nice.
So I got
Most
two,
normal Ohio campus.
I got two quick ones for you, James, and then I'm going to let these guys take over the rest of the interview. So with the CHL now allowing these players to come, obviously you're going to have an influx of talent, and guys at the bottom half of Division One rosters are going to get pushed down to Div 3. Div 3 guys are going to get pushed down to the ACHA. It's kind of a two-sorted question here, but one, do you think there's going to be a need for college hockey expansion at the Division One level in the near future, or are we just going to see like really good talent get pushed all the way down to club hockey? Obviously, it becomes like a money thing. You need to have like the funds to be able to become a Division One program, get the facilities and all that. But could you see some schools? Maybe I know the big popular one is like, let's get a former Pac-12 group like USC, UCLA. The SEC schools who are doing stuff in ACHA like Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Alabama. All those schools. Do you see an expansion of college hockey in the future? Is that something that's going to be a bit off?
Yeah, no, I do. I think Illinois was obviously close, and I think the Blackhawks need to get behind them. That needs to happen. I think Iowa, same thing. Like, there's nothing else to do there. Go get a program. Like, that's no brainers for me. But down south, yeah, I do. I mean, we seen like with NC State, North Carolina, like Georgia, like they're building these rinks down there, and they're getting good attendance. And Liberty, another school that's selling out 4,000 or 5,000 tickets a game right now. So there's just, for me, that's a no brainer. Yes, they need to find the money, and that's easier said than done. But I think it's going to expand soon because hockey's growing, and we need more spots for these guys, and that's just going to grow the game overall more in the fan base down south. So it might take a couple of years, but I think within the next 3 years we're going to start seeing more programs. I know Tennessee State's trying to get it going with Nashville right now, and I really hope that they can pull through, and they're in a great spot. I talked to their coach about that. So yeah, no, I do. I think these Big Ten, the schools with the football and hockey or football and basketball programs, like, they need to pony up and get that done because I think they're going to sell tickets. They're going to be good. Kids, recruits are going to want to go there. So I think they're going to get their money back on their investment. We've seen it work with Penn State and Arizona State, and in a pretty short time frame too. They're making the NCAA tournament, and Penn State just made it to the Frozen Four last year. So I think it's worth it for them. But yeah, I don't want to see kids get bumped down, especially when they're talented enough to play in Division One hockey. Because I'll tell you, like I've watched enough D3 hockey to know like a lot of these guys, and we've seen a couple kids jump to D1 from D3 that they're good enough to play in Division One hockey and compete at a high level. So really hope that a lot of schools can start getting programs.
It's interesting that you just say that. Coach Abercrombie is doing a good job at Tennessee State. They've gotten like quite a few kids to commit there, and I know Coach Healy from NC State too. And the fact that they got their games on like ESPN Plus is like a big deal and stuff like that. So you mentioned Denver briefly when you were talking about facilities, and I don't think we could bring up Denver without bringing up David Carl. Why do you think he hasn't made the jump to the NHL yet?
I think he knows where college hockey's going, and he's built something so special at Denver, and so it's hard to just pick up. It's not just himself, but his family, and just the community that he's helped build over the last few years here at Denver, and they're at Denver, and it's I don't know, it's a tough jump. Like, there's no security in the NHL either, so you have one bad season, you can get axed pretty easily, no matter what your name is. So I think part of it's security, part of it's what he's already built at Denver. His family's there, and he's coaching in arguably the best conference as well. So you see them in the NCAA tournament every year too. And why fix what's not broken? He can't. There's no need to. And I get the NHL is a big jump, and that's really cool and everything. But as far as like the Blackhawks job, like I had some rebuilding to do once getting there. I thought he was a good fit for that job, but I just think it comes down to security and all the work he's already put into the Denver program. And he can still keep building that. So I think he likes it there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you letting me talk. I will, and thanks for responding to the DM. I'll turn it back to the pros now.
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You're too nice there. Appreciate that. Well, you've spoken a lot about the growth of college hockey the last few years. What do you attribute to that?
I think it's just these guys that are, the Fantillis, the Caulfields, Makars, Faber, like those guys coming in. Nazar like coming into NHL and just taking off and taking over the league. Hudson, another one. Like there's so many guys, and now we're gonna see Ryan Leonard do the same with the Capitals this year. It's I think that's a big piece of it, and these NHL fans are now realizing that these guys can come in and make a big impact on their NHL team right away, and so they're following college hockey more, and I think social media has been part of it too. I know we try to do the best we can of getting the news out there and telling these stories because it's our favorite part to see and get to know these kids coming in as freshmen. And then now I've done this long enough where I've seen kids go through the 3-4 years of college and then make the jump to the NHL and succeed. So that's really cool on my end. But yeah, I think just fans are interested in the prospects, especially you Blackhawks fans.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
there's
love
lot
a
of college
prospect talk.
names, like but that's exciting, right? You got guys like Renzel coming in and more, and I just was with both of them a couple weeks ago, and it's just so cool to see what they're doing, what they're gonna do in Chicago, and that just builds excitement and hope for the future for a lot of fan bases. So I think if we can help keep promoting, how Chicklets has done some too, and the NHL really needs to get behind college hockey. I think that's going to grow the game. And you look at the NBA and NFL draft; they're so big, but like the drafts are huge news for everyone. Everyone's they know everything about every player in the first, second, third round. And hockey, it's really like the top 10 picks people know about, but after that, it falls off. So I think we need to get back to in-person drafts, one. But I think, yeah, the NHL supporting college hockey is just going to make it bigger. But yeah, the style of game, the pace of it, everything, it's right there. And you get, like I said, these student sections involved and these great atmospheres. It's a really fun game to go to versus an NHL regular season. It's not always the best atmosphere, but it's still great. It's the NHL. It's the best product. But the atmospheres are unique too. And I think people, love the schools that they went to and, they grew up on that.
Having met Oliver Moore in person, can you vouch for his fun personality? I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, you know what? He's just a really good kid. Like that's something I look for when we're interviewing kids or just working with them in any capacity. Is are they a good person? And I was with him in the gym a couple weeks ago, and just getting to talk to him, and just he's so humble and obviously very talented on the ice. Got to watch him at Minnesota for a couple of years, and his wheels are insane. But he's just just a good person overall, and I think he's going to get his chance at the Blackhawks. Obviously, being a young prospect, but maybe take a little bit of time for him to develop, but I think he's right there, and I'm really excited about his buddy Renzel. So I think he's gonna first line D for you guys. So that's going to be fun to watch him. Another great kid, great family.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to bounce off the Renzel, and you mentioned Ryan Leonard earlier. Out of these college guys, who do you think gives Ivan Demidov the biggest run for their money for the Calder this season?
Renzel.
Yes,
I love it.
Nice. Love to hear that.
Yeah, I think needs to put a little weight on, but Noah's brother's a strength coach as well. He's actually at Carolina now. He just got that job, but know that family, and he's just so talented. He's got the height and the reach, and he's so smart. So, and he's got pretty good speed. I think he's got a big chance, and if Chicago's successful this year, they're going to need him to be a big part of that. So, yeah, I think that's my favorite, honestly, is Renzel.
Hell yeah, love to hear that.
Yeah.
That fires us up.
Absolutely.
Let's check at his odds. They're not giving him nearly enough love.
Plus 6,000 for the Calder,
Sprinkle
right
some-
around there.
Sprinkle something
right
on
now?
that. Absolutely.
But
there's a bunch of good options in there, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, lots to good to come from him this year. I kind of wanted to ask if there's any under the radar teams in college hockey now since the CHL transfer rule that has a lot of NIL income that you could see becoming a juggernaut because of this rule in the next couple of years.
Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, NIL is tough. Every school is different with what they're putting into their hockey program, so that's kind of tough to judge. I don't know everything that's true and that's not. Like what Western Michigan won it all last year. They didn't spend a penny on NIL, so I think they're going to be spending a little bit moving forward. I think they have to compete with these bigger programs. But like, there's really no one under the radar, like in the Big Ten. Like you kind of expect all these schools to be in the top 20, and for a lot of Hockey East as well. And a lot of those Hockey East schools don't have the basketball and football programs, so it's tough. But I honestly don't have a great answer for you as far as that. I will say, like, I think Michigan Tech got a fair amount of CHL guys, but it's going to be those schools with not so much NIL money, but just getting the CHL guys and putting together a good team that's a little bit older than the Big Ten Hockey East schools
Right.
as far as average age. Like Minnesota State's going to be right there. I promise you that. Like they got a good coach, Coach Strand there, and they're always in it. They're always the top of CCHA every year. Great atmosphere. If you haven't been to Mankato, go watch a game there. It's fun. But they're always a competitive team and tough to beat. And Western Michigan beat them in overtime, I think. Yeah, by one goal last year to get out there. So they're always a tough out, and they beat Big Ten teams come tournament time like the Gophers. And that's one team, like, again, they don't have a ton of NIL money, but I think good coaching staff and just a good resume there. They've always been winners. So that's a team to always look out for that a lot of people don't always recognize.
Do you think, less serious question, do you think ESPN will have a bigger grasp on college hockey now due to the McKenna decision being aired on SportsCenter? It was like they're trying to make that like the LeBron, the decision there. You think they'll kind of get more of its due with it on the rise and all of the players and all that? Yeah.
That's the hope. I think if they're going to stay on the contract with the NHL, like I think they have to involve more college hockey, and it's one thing I've pushed for. And getting to work with Victoria Arlen from ESPN last year, we've had those conversations, and I think it's needed. Obviously, like we can't have the championship game on ESPN2. Like if I ever see like a bowling game on ESPN over college hockey again, I'm going to lose it. But
Unreal.
I think that just needs. And during the season too, we went up to a game. It was on ESPN Plus, I think, or ESPNU, Providence, Boston College last year on a Tuesday night. One of the best atmospheres all year, but like that game should be on ESPN if there's nothing else going on. So it's especially when you have that many draft picks that are playing in that game. Yeah, that's the one thing hockey, NHL, college, ESPN, they can take advantage of is unlike any other sport. These guys already have NHL rights associated with their name, right? But they're still playing in college. So go cover those guys and make fans excited.
Yeah, I guess another NHL question here. Where the big move of the offseason in the NHL, one of the big moves relating to college hockey was the Hobey Baker winner moving from Tampa to Edmonton. Isaac Howard, the Iceman. What were your thoughts on that trade?
Yeah, I think good for him. I think talking to him after Hobey, I was there at that ceremony with the NHL, and really, really good kid. And he was actually in this locker room, in the studio at one point when he was with Minnesota Duluth. So to see him, come this far and go succeed at Michigan State and just to get to the NHL was really cool. Obviously, it didn't work out at Tampa, but he scored last night, didn't he, with Edmonton? Just an absolute laser from the circle. I'm pretty sure he got one. So, yeah, I think he's going to be a good guy for the Oilers to lean on, and it's going to be fun to see him succeed. I'm just glad he found his spot in the NHL. Obviously, tough being traded like as soon as you get to the NHL, but at least he landed on another great team, and hopefully gets to play with McDavid a little bit.
Yeah. I guess bouncing off from last year's Hobey Baker to this upcoming season's Hobey Baker winner, who do you think's going to win the Hobey Baker at the end of the year?
Ooh, this is tough. I'm on the committee too, so I gotta be careful. You know what? There's a lot of guys. I don't see it being a freshman this year. I really don't. But if I had to pick one guy right now, it's going to be Joey Maldoni of UConn, who had 29 tucks last year. So he's going to be in another good team this year in UConn. And yeah, that's my pick right now. I think if UConn can make the tournament, he's going to be a huge reason why. And he's going to keep getting every chance to bury. So on the power play and first line minutes. So I like him.
Yeah, turning into the next Tage Thompson.
Yeah, there we go.
Which college hockey players are you kind of watching who can make the biggest impression on this year's World Juniors, which will be in Minnesota this year?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. That being in my hometown, I always watched it and just love it. It's one of the greatest events of the year, and just in hockey. So, I think Cole Hudson again, like just what he did last year, but him get another chance at it is going to be insane. I don't know, that might be the top guy, honestly. I want to see LJ Mooney, see if he's on that roster and what he can do. Little guy, but he's going to be good for the Gophers this year. He's fun to watch. So a lot of talent, and it's always cool to see guys get that opportunity and get their chance to step up and show off for the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, he's a little rascal, that Habs prospect.
He is.
Yeah.
He's nasty. He's nasty. So I'm excited to see what he can do at the college level. But I think I'm most excited to watch him for the World Junior team this year.
Yeah.
It looks like Canada's going to have a loaded roster. Do you think the U.S. can take him and go make it a three-peat on home soil?
Yeah, I think the U.S. has to. They know they got to protect homeland here, and I'm still sticking with them. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of talent. So we'll see. I'm excited to see the final rosters and see who makes it. And obviously things can change with injuries and whatnot. But I think they're going to defend home soil here and beat Canada. But they are loaded, and I'm curious to see if they're going to start taking more college players now. Canada, with their players, a lot of them heading to colleges now. So
Yeah, yeah.
James, I'm actually jumping back in here. I forgot I have one more question here for you.
yeah,
So I want to talk about the college selects team that's going to be representing the U.S., I guess, or I mean, I know you guys at Everything College Hockey do have some involvement in that team going to the Spengler Cup in Davos.
yep.
So I just, for those that don't really know, like sort of explain what's happening and your guys' involvement in it and how this sort of started and how it got to where it is now, and then what it's going to sort of look like there, because the Spengler Cup is hockey's oldest invitational hockey tournament. So it's pretty special that a lot of these guys are going to get the opportunity to go over there.
Yeah, I think it's what we talked about earlier, and that's growing the game of college hockey and getting more eyes on it. So I think that's the biggest need for not just the cup of college hockey, just getting it out there more. And obviously, it's the same time as World Juniors, December 26th to 31st. So that will be interesting as far as viewership. But and I don't know what we're covering yet. I don't want to speak on that, whether it's World Juniors or Spengler Cup. But I think the idea of having a college all-star team and featuring these guys that have stuck around, that are juniors and seniors, that are very talented, is going to be really cool. And to see them play with all different players from all over the country, I think it's going to represent 6 conferences. So there'll be a guy from each conference on the roster. Not saying they're all going to start, but I know I put out a list yesterday just with some names I'd like to see. But I think we're going to see too some guys like that are good enough to go. I got the invite, but they're either one, don't want to get injured, or two, yeah, just protecting themselves because they're in a playoff spot for college hockey. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know too much on it yet, and how it's all going to lay out. I'm waiting to find out more details. But no, I thought it was just a really cool idea. We want to promote that, obviously, and the idea of a college hockey all-star team and games is really cool. Something we've always wanted. So yeah, still looking to find out more details. From what I've heard, it can't be freshmen on the team, and a lot of those guys that would be selected will be on the World Junior rosters anyways. So not a big deal there. But for the guys that aren't yet playing in World Juniors, it's going to be really cool.
I think it's a fun new twist on like an old classic tournament. I think that's going to add some flair to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
sure.
agree. I'd love to go over there and experience that and get some media out for it as well. But obviously, with the World Juniors being in my home state, I don't know if I can miss that one, but we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think we might try to head up there. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun. We'd have to link up in Minnesota, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite college hockey program that you support?
Well, I went to Bemidji State, so I
Okay.
worked for the
Nice.
Beavers up
Beavers, yeah.
there
Yeah.
in college. That's how I kind of got into ECH, actually, as a student manager there. So got my foot in the door at D1 hockey there, but grew up going to all the Gopher hockey games. So obviously loved them. And but Maine's my other program I've always liked and saw. We played them in the championship back when I was a kid. So those 3 programs mean a lot to me. So.
This is an unserious question, but I have to ask it. Are you familiar with James Murray from Practical Jokers?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
How much jokes do you get with that?
I've heard it a lot. I love that show though. That's funny. It's a good show.
That's fine. I just had to get that in there. That's fun.
I don't know if my name will ever be as big as his. That's a great show.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
great show.
Not the same without Joe, but still pretty good. Yeah.
One big question I wanted to ask. I'm a big jersey guy. Do you think there's one jersey in college hockey that stands out from the rest?
I don't have it hanging up right now anywhere. It's the Notre Dame green one though.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are beauties.
That's a banger. Yeah, that's a
That
nice
was a
one.
gold helmet. It's tough to beat. So
Yeah.
I like the helmets that the Red Wings wore at not the Winter Classic, the Stadium Series game last year. That was kind of, I think it had some Michigan type of vibe to it.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
football helmet.
No,
that was pretty
Michigan's
cool.
great too. I love their helmets. Maine, love their colors. They're also my high school colors. But Alaska Fairbanks, I mean, you guys should go check it out. They're doing like their anniversary year, and they have like 6 different jerseys that they're coming out this year. They're all pretty sick. So we got to go up there last year. That was really cool.
Oh,
to
that's
see their
awesome.
program. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This is kind of a layup of a question because I know what your answer is going to be, but if you're an incoming hockey player and you have to choose between Canadian junior ranks and college hockey, why is college hockey for you the better option right now?
Yeah, I think just getting a degree is important because not a small percentage of these guys are going to make it to the NHL. So getting a degree is important. And then making connections with students on those campuses. You never know when you're going to need those people. So, but then you get to the game day and or just a game week, I should say, and it's practice all week, and then you get to the student section Friday, Saturday night. Getting that is so sick. Like it's just a unique atmosphere, and you're not going to get that anywhere else. Now those fans are great up north and all that, but you had the band, you had the student section, and all the alumni too that come with these schools. It really makes for a unique and great atmosphere.
For sure. A lot of good things going for college hockey right now, but are there any kind of areas of aspects of improvement? You think things they could be doing better? Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is the coverage, the TV.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, and how many different streams there are for each conference. That's got to change. So, I think they're going to figure out the portal and all that too. Maybe there's some rules that should be implemented there, but and then the NILs. I mean, it's all being figured out right now. Obviously, the product on ice is the most important, but if you can't get the right coverage to cover that product on the ice, then we're kind of backtracking. So I think that's the biggest thing right now is just figuring out a TV contract or getting a partner that can promote this game the way it needs to be and should be promoted.
Fantastic. James, you've been really gracious with your time. We really appreciate you. Fellas, any other questions for James?
Yeah, I mean, the one last question I have, if you're ever around the Chicago area, if you're ever down in Oxford, man, I'd love to come by, link up, and let's try and do something, because I mean, ECH, I've been following you for probably the last 4 or 5 years or something like that, ever since pretty much the inception. So very big fan. This has been an awesome interview to try and interview you. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
It.
I'll reach out to you guys, especially if we're going to Oxford this year. So
there we go.
Thanks for having me on and trying to get the word out for college hockey. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, for sure. You're welcome back on anytime you want, for sure. We really appreciate you for your time. And best of luck with the college hockey season. I think we're all looking forward to consuming some.
Yeah, we'll all be following it. Yeah,
for sure.
I appreciate it, guys. Let me know. I'll come back on anytime.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. That is James Murray from Everything College Hockey. Banger. What a beauty.
Yeah,
all those college hockey guys are beauties.
Yeah, no, this was awesome. I've been following this brand for probably, the last 3 or 4 years, trying to consume as much college hockey as possible as the college hockey guy on the resident college hockey guy on the
You're the prospect guru.
Yeah, you're him.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've attended one college hockey game in my life, and I've watched a few on TV.
Which one was it? Who played?
I was at my brother visiting when he went to Boston College. I can't remember who was visiting, but BC won.
Yeah,
of course I did. Yeah.
I went to a couple Miami games when I was at Miami. One of them was actually watching Wyatt Kaiser at Minnesota Duluth. Miami came out with that one. Miami played Bowling Green earlier that year. I believe it ended in a tie, which is super weird out of conference. And then my senior year, we went to the game against North Dakota. So I think playing North Dakota is just so awesome. Yeah, it's like one of those heritage programs in the NCAA.
Very nice. I would say my personal favorite college hockey moments was a couple. Back when I was playing youth hockey, played in Yost Ice Arena, which is the home of Michigan, the Michigan Wolverines in a hockey tournament. That was a ton of fun. That rink is something else. I'd say if there's a favorite college hockey arena, it's probably that one. Also, I saw an outdoor game between Michigan and Ohio State in the Cleveland Browns Stadium when I was in college. That was one of Frank Nazar's first games back. So that was pretty sick. Good to see that. He had an assist in that game. So I would say that was probably my favorite moment, both involving Michigan. I don't even really support Michigan, but Frank Nazar being there, I feel like I followed them a bit while he was there. So
you just made me realize I forgot about another college hockey game I attended. It was when the Blackhawks were hosting a stadium series at Soldier Field. I forget what
the
year
Frozen
that was.
Classic. Yeah,
and then they had Michigan and Michigan State. And they had Notre Dame and one other
Miami.
team. And Miami. That's
Miami,
right. And
yeah.
I was
Miami's the polar bear north in Texas there.
Whoa, they were good. They were good at that time. They
kidding.
made a national championship, I believe. In
so I did see Michigan play Michigan State at Soldier Field. That was pretty cool.
That's nails.
So I went last year, obviously. I said this a bunch on the show when it was happening, but I went last year to Wrigley when they did all those games after, and I went and sat in the cold and rain and watched all those games, and it was awesome. Like, college hockey is really, I don't know, like, people just they care more. Like, not they care more. The passion is there. You're tied to something that's like a little bit bigger than yourself. That's not so much of like a corporate entity. But those were like my first. I think those were my first. No. I went to a couple of Notre Dame games in college, but those were my first other college games, and it's good, man. Like, it's good hockey. It's gonna get better. National champion picks.
That's hard to. I mean, it's
It's
hard
so
to bet
hard.
against.
I mean, this is just a crapshoot.
I mean, I
BC?
love James's pick of BU. I mean, I'm going to be following Boisvert all year. I've been following the Terriers for probably like the last 5 or 6 years now, due to everything with all the Hawks guys coming up, like Ryan Green and Drew Comesso, Alex Vlasic. So I think BU takes it this year.
Hagen should be back at BC. I'll go with BC since you go with BU. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go along with Justin here. It sucks.
Oh,
to
yeah,
be,
you're a big-
It
you're a
sucks
big
to be
BC
you.
guy.
So go BC.
We will be tuning into the Beanpot. That's always one of the best.
Oh,
college
that's like one of my
hockey games.
favorite
That's a lot of
tournaments.
fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, no, and it's on a random Monday night too. It's not like a weekend. It's a normal weekend college series. It's on a Monday night in the Garden, and we talked about it with Comesso, and it's just like it's a different environment.
Yeah, yeah. My brother always talked about like Boston College football games were okay, but like the biggest time of the year for them was
hockey.
Marathon Monday and Beanpot.
Oh, I love it.
Well, that's one of the few schools we could confidently say, no, hockey is number one. Like the big ones.
Yeah.
No, most take a back seat to football, basketball. No, it's hockey is their religion there, which is what you like to see. I would have gone to those college hockey games at Wrigley Field, but I got sick at the Winter Classic.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was like sick as a dog, so I was like, I really want to go, but I feel plus the World Juniors are going on. I think I wanted to watch the gold medal games. So yeah,
I powered through. I didn't know how many opportunities in life I'd get to
True.
like watch a college hockey game
True.
at Wrigley. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm going to say Penn State wins the national
Penn State,
championship. this
okay.
year.
Yeah,
Even though I don't actually really believe that, I'm going to pick, because I don't know that all the rosters are out, whoever has the oldest average age in the NCAA, that's who's going to win the national championship.
Okay.
I mean, Penn State made it as far as they did last year, and they didn't have McKenna yet. So, I mean, just the impact he could have on that team. It's one player, but, at that level, I mean, if he's putting up, something in the 70, 80, 100 range, like, yeah, he can definitely carry them for sure.
Yeah.
They have a good team around him.
What
too.
did he say? I didn't have the
He
cans
said
on.
BU.
No. What did he say when you asked him about Gavin McKenna scoring 100 points?
He said, I think it was more so
Like
that,
80.
that high end ceiling would be more like 80, but he's saying he's definitely
He
going to
seemed to
score
temper that a little
60.
bit. He seemed to
said
temper it.
60 is definitely going to happen. and
What do you
then-
mean? Of course 60 is going to happen.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
80 was more of his
Ceiling.
the 100
And
ceiling.
Celebrini had
This is
60.
Gavin
Yeah.
McKenna.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? I don't know.
He doesn't see the 100-point tally
that's
being
a big
hit.
number.
I mean,
that's a big
Yeah,
number.
that's a very
Yeah.
big number,
It is
especially with the
huge.
competition.
That's right, like-
just
It
the
might take some
competition
time.
upgrade from the
Yeah.
WHL to the NCAA. I mean,
There might be
you're
an
going up
adjustment.
against
100
period.
would be asking for just total domination of college
From
hockey
day one.
From day
From day
one.
one. Yeah.
It might take some
I
time.
think if he doesn't score a goal in his first game, it's a disappointment.
Well,
He's got
of course.
so much
What if he puts
pressure
up
on
like
him.
3 assists?
Yeah.
Huh?
What if he puts up like 3 assists?
Okay, then that's fine.
I mean,
Would the one goal be better than the 3
what if it
assists?
takes him like 3 games to get a point?
I don't think that will happen.
I might start being a little worried 3 games.
I don't think
but-
that'll happen. I mean,
Yeah,
they start out the year against Arizona State, and then before they
Arizona State.
Arizona State's
Yeah.
on the rise.
They
I-
are,
I-
they are.
They
Arizona
got your
State
guy.
signed a Jack Beck who spent the entire year last year in the ECHL and played
Yeah.
a couple of AHL games, which
Yeah.
actually that should have been a question we asked him about too. It
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
a couple of these pro guys who spent the whole year in freaking pro hockey going to NCAA. I think it's
Is it
ridiculous.
at ASU?
It is at ASU.
Well, hopefully he's focused
Yeah,
on the game, right?
in the Mullet Arena. Yeah.
The Mullet Arena. That's so cool that they play there. Yeah.
Coach Power is one of the best coaches in the NCAA at Arizona State. Just saying.
We'll see. Yeah,
they,
it could be a
they-
good test for him. Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah.
They have your guy Colin Potter.
That's right. Hey,
Potter.
no relation to Harry Potter.
Potter.
No relation to a fictional character.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I know. Shocking statement there.
Yeah, the you guys were talking about games that you guys missed out on last year. North Dakota came down to Miami the first weekend of December, and I was busy doing other things. But the Friday game, Sasha Boisvert scored with like 20 seconds left in the game, and that's just one thing I've always regretted not going to.
Oh, you didn't take that chance.
No,
Yeah.
I was actually up in Michigan at that weekend, so I wasn't able to attend.
And we
Unfortunately,
should say we are going to try and be boots on the ground, CHR wise, at a couple
Yeah.
of college hockey
Yeah,
games.
we
I think.
want to.
we want to go see Kevin McKenna live.
The Justin and Nolan caravan are going to be,
Hey, I can't go.
no,
and bake.
no,
No,
you
you're
can't.
stuck here.
You're stuck here for post game shows.
Hey.
Yeah, but no, me and Nolan, we're going to be cooking. We're expanding our hockey horizons beyond
Yeah.
just the Blackhawks and NHL. I've always enjoyed consuming other hockey. World Juniors, I've definitely been watching more college hockey. Definitely this year, especially. I mean,
Now you're finally
being
getting on the
Blackhawks
wave.
fans as well. There's a lot of reasons to watch Gavin McKenna hockey.
Yeah,
this year,
yeah.
So definitely be monitoring how he does.
Yeah, I'll be very excited. I mean, we were talking about this off air. Wisconsin Badger students, Notre Dame Fighting Irish students. I mean, you might see the Justin Nolan connection at a college near you. Whoa.
The Badgers
Whoa.
stink, dude.
Yeah,
Hey, but that campus, I was actually up there late August. I mean, that campus is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, my friend went
the
there,
campus is fine, but the college hockey program.
They've got one. They got
Let's go-
two guys to look out for this year. They got Logan Hensler and they got Quinn Finley. That's it.
Hasn't been the same without Cole Caulfield.
No, Cole Caulfield, Alex Turcotte. I mean, you can go down the list. Andrew Miller.
Yeah, they had some damn good teams there. But Wisconsin's one of those teams. They'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah,
it'll
I
take some
think
time,
eventually,
but
yeah.
they'll be back for sure. Speaking of college hockey, I mean, it's rough. To bring back the Taze transition here, former North Dakota legend. We should expand on his return here.
Do we want to hear the clip?
Yeah, let's hear from Taze. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I said that and then I didn't have the
Oh, yeah,
clip
no,
ready.
all good. Yeah. Jonathan Taze on his return. Yeah, he made his preseason unofficial debut with the Jets last night, and yeah,
Very, very happy to see him back on the ice.
no, that
All right, here it is. I got it.
yeah,
Even just being here in Winnipeg, being in a new locker room, so a lot of things to get used to. So, but at the same time, those nerves feel good, and it's just exciting to play hockey again.
yes, sir. Love to hear that. I just love. It was just good to see Jonathan Taze back on the ice yesterday. That's what you want to see. And just to expand on some points, I thought he made some really just crisp passes, crisp plays. Yes, the competition, not the best. It was effectively an AHL game outside of a few exceptions. But like to see him getting reps with Cole Perfetti. I think the 1991 connection could be pretty solid for the Jets this year in the second line, which it does seem like that's the plan for him. Jonathan Taze is going to get a real shot to be their 2C. So we'll see if he can do that in 2025. It looked like I was watching Jonathan Taze. Like, he looked like he under him. Obviously, not just a preseason game, but it's going to take him time to shake off the rust. But I like what I saw from Tazer, and I must say he does look pretty damn good in that jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that. He looked solid. Yeah, like you said, not out of place, and slotting in at that 2C spot. They do have a little bit of an injury for Adam Lowry, who's going to be out for a bit. So,
Interesting.
Just to start.
I wonder
the
who's going to
season.
wear the C
got
while he's out.
A little roughed up, so they definitely need him to step into that role and play it well. But once Lowry comes back, even Taves as a 3C could look good.
I like the fact that they gave Taze the A. I mean, I don't know if it's just for that first preseason game or whatnot, or if he's going to wear any of them this year. That'd be pretty sick. But Betsy wore an A yesterday too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we're talking about Taze back on the ice. Should we get Nat back on the couch?
Yeah, let's
come on
let's get her back
Nat.
in the rotation here. Yeah, Nolan's swapping out. There we go.
Doing a quick line change here.
Line change.
I don't know if we discussed that much in the Hawks, but it was good to see Betsy and Nazar wear the A's for the Hawks. Kaiser is the other one, and for Taze, just a nice little ode to him to give him the A there. Again, even just a preseason game, just to kind of welcome him back into the fold there was really nice. So, anything else to say on Taze? I think we kind of covered him.
Yeah, no, I think we talked enough about him earlier as well.
Yeah. I thought we should expand in a little bit. Thought that was a good way to kind of tee him up. Yeah, good to see for sure. And we discussed Alex Petrangelo as well. I think it's time for some segments here. How about, I believe it's time for Bad Take Wednesday. Are we ready for Bad Take Wednesday? Let's go.
Yeah, I think we are ready for Bad Take Wednesday.
Happy
Wednesday, everyone.
Absolutely.
Happy Bad Take Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Hump Day! Let's go. Who would like to tee us off here, lead off the rotation?
Bad takes? Yeah, I can start off. So there were a lot of tweets happening throughout the weekend going with the Blackhawks practicing at Fifth Third. All the reporters are in the stands. Even fans are just, excited that the guys are on the ice. Then they're able to see them in person, and videos and pictures are getting tweeted out.
Where are you going with this?
Just a certain someone screenshotted a collection of tweets on their timeline related to Connor Bedard, and it was one of them, Connor Bedard struggling out there early today, and then the other tweet was within 2 minutes of it, and it said, "Wow, Bedard is flying out there today. He looks great." But it was just someone, they screenshotted that and tried to say, "Oh, great practice analysis today." And I
think you just stole Nolan's take.
Well, I didn't see it written down, and we were having some issues here. But yeah, do you want to elaborate on this one, Nolan?
Yeah.
I'll get to it when I get to my take. But yeah, I mean, you could talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, but just it was just sort of someone trying to dunk on people having two differing opinions on what they see at preseason practice. It's just a little ridiculous trying to dunk on someone's tweet like that.
I think one of them was from one of our own, right?
I think it was
not
from
to
one of our
dox him
own,
there.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if he wants us to dox him, but I reckon it may have been from one of us who was in attendance
Yeah.
for that skate.
And I actually I have another bad take also, and it's Tom Brady. There's been a lot of talks about the kind of conflict of interest between his broadcasting job with NFL games and his ownership in the Raiders. And so last week
Was he just been glazing them or something?
No. So he's been on call for several NFL games throughout the weekend, and when he does these, there's production meetings that take place, and like information is shared about team personnel, etc. And the Raiders play the Bears this upcoming week, right?
Bear down, baby.
And that's the team he has
Gotta
a part
defeat
ownership
Brady.
in.
Yeah.
And then last week he was on call for this Bears Cowboys game.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
He's in that position as a broadcaster, but also an owner of a team where some information's available to him that maybe shouldn't be. And his response this week was basically, anyone worried about any interest or conflict of interest regarding my two roles is being paranoid.
Okay.
And, to hear that coming from a guy who was, documented to be involved in multiple scandals while he was with the New England Patriots
That's a little
and winning
sus.
Super Bowls, for him to say, you guys are being paranoid about this.
Yeah.
Tom, you've won enough. I don't think you really think you need to go and get inside information to beat the Bears.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah,
Fool
yeah.
me twice. Yeah.
So a lot of people, were bringing up the legitimate issue of,
Sure.
he gets access to these, certain team info and as a broadcaster, but that impacts impacts him as the owner. And the Bears play his team next week, so we'll see.
We'll see how that
if
transpires.
somehow the Raiders are all over us, I'll be very suspicious of his what he has told us to be not paranoid about.
Yeah, we shall see as Bears fans, right?
So that's his bad take, is him saying, "Oh, we're just paranoid about this conflict of interest."
Okay.
Like, no, it's a very clear and legitimate thing, I'd say.
Sure. Okay. Man, hopefully the Bears can take the dub and get the 500 there.
Yeah.
All right. Who'd like to go number 2 here?
I can. I personally think that I saw this tweet and it says, I'm not sure what people are expecting from a very young group of Blackhawks. And skating fast and thinking fast are entirely different. I don't necessarily agree with that. It just seems like, yeah, sure, they're young, but these are really good prospects. We have an insane prospect pool. Everybody on there is great. Everybody on there deserves, to be there. And I personally just think that the expectation should be high. I mean, why are we discounting them because they're young? That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
They are NHL level players, and a majority of them are probably, gonna make it. Everybody that's there has a really similar shot as everybody else does to make that roster, especially since some of these vets are not producing the way that vets should be producing. So I think, yes, skating fast is great. I think there are some people on the team who think fast. It's obvious. However, we do not need to be discounting the fact that they are young. There have been young teams that have gone on to win Stanley Cups.
Right.
It's not that. It's not the fact that they're young. Just age has nothing to do with it. It's skill level, and the skills are there. And I don't agree with this.
Yeah, no, it's people just overreacting. Wait, it's September.
Yeah.
It's September. We're having these
September.
types of takes. Relax, calm down.
Yeah, to quote Green Day, "Wake me up when September ends." Then we can talk hockey.
I just
that's
saw
a good
Green
one.
Day.
That's
too.
a good one. That's a good one.
October, we can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. And plus September, you're still airing out kinks, right? It's a preseason for everybody, right?
That's right.
Yeah, no, definitely, everybody's shaking off the rust. So, not just the Blackhawks, everybody is shaking off the rust.
Everybody is shaking off the rust, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Oh
Okay,
my
Taylor.
gosh,
Okay,
are you
singer.
serious?
A lot of band references
Okay,
going on
no,
today.
I think you need to start singing. Sing it. Come on.
That's like CHR plus content.
I'll start singing on the side, and then we can bring it on the show.
Charlie singing.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
my goodness.
I gotta
That should be
practice first.
Charlie's singing segment.
But I wanted to, like you were saying, one of the players that I feel like people talk about in that light is like Oliver Moore.
Yeah.
Someone said, like, he skates so fast that,
Almost too quick for
like,
his own good.
Almost
sometimes.
too quick for his own good.
That takes time.
But
Yeah.
that gives him that extra time and
Right.
space to think and kind of figure things out also, and that's only going to get better as he gets more
He's
more
gonna grow
used
into
to this
that,
NHL
right?
system. But yeah,
The game's going to slow down for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Being too
Yeah.
fast for your own good, it's not a bad thing because
Especially when you're coming into the league.
Exactly.
He's 21 years
he's
old.
He's such a raw talent,
Yeah, yeah.
just like Levshinov, such a raw
It's
talent.
not going to happen overnight.
It's just a matter
Right.
of putting those things together, and he's just getting more comfortable
Right.
every day. So
You can't expect these people to be like Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, all of these people. You can't expect them to be that right
Day
now.
one. It takes time. You
not
gotta
a
throw
finished,
into it.
a finished product.
You
right?
know, a lot
It
of those
takes
guys,
time.
they weren't the player they are now when they came into the league. So,
Right.
And it's
yeah.
not
Right.
that they're
Yeah.
bad. It's like it's preseason.
Yeah,
Everybody
relax.
needs to work on
Take a
something.
chill pill.
I don't know
Yeah.
what you're expecting when they're so young. Oh, I don't know, baby. It's the preseason.
Yeah, inexperience plus learning this new system. That's a lot of it right there.
We could talk about this all day. I'll get to my take, and it is regarding former Chicago Bears head coach Matt Eberflus.
Eberflub.
He had a bit of a talk of the media before the game on Sunday, basically tooting his own horn. I don't have the exact quote here, but basically said, I'm familiar with the Bears system and, has the knowledge to be able to shut them down, and that is not what happened on Sunday by any metric.
No.
Spoiler alert, narrator, he did not shut down the Bears. So, yeah, new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's used to losing at Soldier Field. It was another loss from Soldier Field, but this time against the Bears. So, I would say his overconfidence going into the game definitely did not age well for sure.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw a lot of overconfidence from him in his
Yeah.
time here, and it was always
We've played these games before.
I thought that was the right way to do it,
Yeah.
and this kind of stuff.
Nope.
Complete 180 from Ben Johnson, who actually takes accountability.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah. I mean, I wonder if Eberflus in his post game, with all the Dallas media, was like, I really liked what we did here. It just didn't work, because I can totally see that. That's what
Probably.
we were used to.
Most
instead
likely.
of owning up to certain things that didn't work.
Yeah. Now time for Weigh In Wednesday, because we don't have our producer with us at the moment, so we will skip him for this week. Sorry, Nolan. All right, Weigh In Wednesday time. I'll lead us off here this time.
Okay, leader.
From the Bears to
The Bear.
Ah!
Boom.
we're hot today, folks.
Yeah, I
Yes.
used to be a drummer back in the day. I wasn't very good.
Actually,
Yeah.
Justin Lore unlocked.
I still have a drum set. I occasionally use it just to kind
Can
of.
we please get a picture of you drumming? Do you
You
have
know,
one?
I'll do that. I don't have one with me right now. I will do one. I will play the drums when I get home just for you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
how sweet!
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll see if Unk still got it
And
there.
then you could sing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You guys are going to be
You
the
can form
new
a band.
You guys are going to be the new 21 Pilots. Oh my God!
No way.
We could be the new something Hawks related.
Well, you had something cooking there. I thought you were cooking something there.
Stick and puck.
I got something there. Yeah.
That was off the dome, guys. I promise
like
you
that.
I'm better at this when I think of it. But Justin, tell us about the Bears.
The Bear, yeah, it's absolutely goated show. I was. It's funny just figuring out what to watch after Dexter. I knew like anything else wasn't going to be as good, but I will say this is pretty damn close. The Bear Chicago show, just it kind of shows the pressures of the restaurant business and trying to perform in that aspect, especially in Chicago, which is one of the food capitals of the world. So, really enjoyed watching that show. A lot of good Chicago references, some Blackhawks references too. I'd love to see it. They have like a jersey and like the restaurant and all that, and some polls at the team. So, I've just been really enjoying watching that show, and that's just what I want to get off my chest on this Weigh In Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I caught the first 2 seasons. I haven't watched it since then, but
That the knife scene is a classic.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I also like the fact that's called the Bear. I originally thought it was because of the Bears, but no, it's just because that's a family name. So
Yeah.
that's why they call it the Bear.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, who'd like to go number 2?
I think you want to go, Natalie, don't you?
I do
You have
want
a
to
lot
go,
to
you
say
guys.
here.
I do have a lot to say. I went to Riot Fest over the weekend, and
Yes.
it was great. I would have put that in my my 3 stars of the week, but I wasn't here. I had a medical emergency, but
Oh,
I'm
glad
fine
you're better.
now.
Yeah.
I'm fine now, you guys. Don't worry. Not going anywhere. But yeah, Riot Fest was great. Got to talk to Blink 182. It was outstanding. They were great. Great people, funny people. But yeah, I saw some great music. Blink 182. I saw Knocked Loose. I saw
Knocked Loose is awesome.
They are. The Pit was crazy. I also saw Alkaline Trio. They were great as well. Weezer I saw. Front Bottoms.
Weezer, nice.
I saw Inhaler, and I also saw Green Day too. But the real star was last night. I traveled to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to see my favorite band in the world, 21 Pilots. Yes, I camped out on the streets of Milwaukee, got released from medics, and then traveled to Milwaukee to sleep on a sidewalk for a night, just so
Love
I
the
could.
commitment.
Yes, very committed. It was pouring rain. There was a severe thunderstorm and everything, and I slept under a tarp. I had a blanket that got soaked. My UGG slippers are completely destroyed, but it was all worth it because I got barricade, which is a very hard thing to do at any show, but a really hard thing to do for a 21 Pilots show. But
yeah.
front row, I got to high five Tyler Joseph, which was, oh my God. And if that wasn't enough for 12-year-old Natalie, who at this point was halfway in the grave, I got to hold up Tyler Joseph for trees. And that was a dream that I've had since I started listening to them 10 years ago. And there are videos out there of me bawling my eyes out, of my body just hunched over the barricade, sobbing, trying to hold myself up. And it's just like, I know a lot of people would say this and be like, wow, she's crazy. But like, you really don't know how much music means to people. And especially music with the type of message that 21 Pilots has. Their whole thing is stay alive, push on through. It's going to get better. You're going to be fine. And, you know, middle school is rough and your 20s are rough. And the moral of the story is that it's never not going to be rough. But you have things like music that make it better. And you just got to keep on keeping on. And yesterday was really my keep on keeping on moment. I've been down in the dumps the last couple of weeks, but that really lifted my spirits up. So very, very happy to have been a part of that. They're playing here tonight, but I can't. Nothing could top what I witnessed yesterday.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Awesome.
Glad you had a nice moment to hopefully lift your spirits a little bit, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Did they sing Polarize?
They did.
Great song.
They did sing
Great
Polarize.
song.
It was very good. There were they have so many good songs, and a lot of the songs that I like, they don't really play. But Tyler Joseph, if you're watching this, I know you're not. Put At the Risk of Feeling Dumb on the set list. Just do it. I promise you it'll be worth it. Or Downstairs. As somebody who sleeps in the basement, please play Downstairs.
Very
Polarize was I think it was high school maybe. Yeah, I listened to it a lot. I think I found it from my church youth group. We went on like a Habitat for Humanity work tour, and that song was always playing in our van.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too, is there are like undertones there that people don't really realize, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
I got to get out to a concert now. You got me excited.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a concert.
Charlie, let's go
in so
tonight, guys.
long.
Let's go tonight.
Tonight,
Actually,
Actually, you know
my
what?
bank account would hate me if I bought a ticket same day to a 21 Pilots concert. I
whatever.
already know.
It's
Fuck it,
48
let's do
bucks
it.
for the lawn. Let's go. Come on.
I'm down. Absolutely.
I'm down.
All right, yeah.
All right. We all Charlie. You've done your weigh in yet?
Weigh in, yeah. So mine is going to be a little nerdy outlet here, but I'm going to talk about just coin collecting and
Really?
yeah, a little coin collecting action on today's CHR Wednesday. So
Coin collecting.
yeah, I when I was a kid, I would always like oh, this is a really cool looking dollar, or I'm going to collect the $2 bills or some old silver quarters and stuff like that. But this week at work, I found a penny that is older than the Blackhawks.
What?
Older than both
So
World
over 100
Wars.
years old, yeah.
1918 penny was in my drawer at work the other day. So obviously I found my own penny in my backpack and politely switched it out to take the valuable penny home. It's worth a little more than a cent at this point. It's not in great shape, but that I'm always on the prowl for like silver quarters, silver dollars, they're out there. Nothing's better than silver and gold, they say. So
Yeah.
all the quarters used to be made out of silver, but yeah, I'm just on a big coin collecting jump right now.
Okay.
Every day at the register, I'm looking.
Are
where's
you like
the rare
going to the
stuff?
Chicago beaches and you got like the metal detectors trying to like in the
I'm
sand?
not that
trying
in
to-
deep at all. I have gone to like the bank and been like, here's $20. Let me get random rolled quarters and searching for the old silver ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just if anyone, you're thinking, oh, people think I'm nerdy if I collect coins. Nah, go for it. That's an investment.
Hey, everybody has their
Old
their
stuff
little
is-
hobbies. There's no judging here.
Yeah, old stuff is worth a lot. I encourage you guys, next time you got some pocket change, take a closer look at the years. You'll be surprised that, this is worth $20 or something.
Yeah, I could use some bread. I might have to get into that.
Yeah, we could all use a little bread.
Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes at this point, man. All right, I believe let's just do all the segments back to back because why not?
Here we go.
I believe it's time for Weber's Wagers on this fine Wednesday.
It is time for Weber's Wagers.
Yeah,
And
let's
before
hear
we
it.
get into any gambling
You're about to
discussions, I
disclaim
do have
us?
to, disclaim you and proclaim the good word. Disclaim and proclaim.
My favorite part of the show.
Word of
So the
1-800
following
Gambler.
content may discuss topics related to gambling. Gambling can be addictive and not suitable for all individuals. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Please gamble responsibly and be aware of the risk.
Well, thank you for that, Charlie.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, we are going to start things off with baseball and then pivot into the sport that we actually cover here. For the first time in a bit, we are gonna talk
We
about some
have
hockey
a
bets
hockey
here.
bet.
Oh, wow.
Exciting times
Well,
are
the
upon
hockey's
us.
back.
Oh, man.
Hockey's
We
back.
are so back.
We're back, baby.
Wait, preseason hockey bets?
No.
bad.
Yeah, don't jump the gun.
Okay.
Okay.
I do
right.
like being premature. Yeah.
Wow. New low. Charlie, go ahead.
Pause. Okay.
I had a reference on it.
So yeah, the first thing we're gonna do today is go over to the diamond. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates visiting the Cincinnati Reds today. Both of their aces are on the mound. Paul Skeens for the Pirates is pitching.
boyfriend of
otherwise
Livy Dunn.
Otherwise
Yeah.
known as the boyfriend of Livy Dunn.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you,
Taylor
Justin.
Swift of the MLB, right? Yeah.
Truly, yeah.
yeah.
You got a point about that.
Yeah, where's the hockey version? Somebody's got a. Never mind.
Tate McRae and
Yeah, I
someone.
was gonna say, yeah.
That's already happened.
Yeah,
and been
Cole
done.
Sillinger fumbled,
So,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shout out Cole.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Yeah.
So yeah, we are gonna take the Cincinnati Reds to win today, just mostly based on the Pirates, being out of playoff contention and the Reds hunting a wild card spot today, as well as Paul Skeens obviously is the Cy Young winner this year, but he has struggled mightily in the division against NL Central teams. His season ERA is about a 2.0 flat. 2.07 is where it's at right now. But versus the Central Division this year, he carries a 3.95 ERA.
Okay.
So almost a whole 2 runs higher versus his division. And, with the Reds being hot right now and climbing into that last wild card, they just want to keep pushing. So we are taking the Reds on the money line today, minus 110.
Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night, baby.
Yeah. Wish you the best of luck there.
And then we are off to hockey bets. So today I placed a bet for Connor Bedard.
Oh, drum roll.
Drum roll, please. At plus 800 odds, you can get Connor Bedard 40 plus goals for the season.
Banger, smash
Plus
that.
800 means a $100 bet would return $800. A
Yes,
$10 bet would
smash.
return $80. So yeah, I think, if Bedard can put it all together this year, 40 goals is definitely not out of the question.
Yeah. I know Bedard's going to drop 40 goals this year. I just can't quite prove it yet.
Yeah, I just can't quite prove it yet. My DraftKings account knows it.
Yeah.
Not sponsored, obviously, but
Not sponsored. No free ads. Yeah.
I mean, just based on what we've seen, I just think it's coming. I think this is the breakout year, and I think 40 goals is kind of going to be, maybe 35 is what we see, but I really think 40 plus could happen.
Yes, Bedard is coming. He's going to have a big season for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And then
Absolutely.
we're gonna, I know James Murray mentioned it here. We're gonna take Sam Runzel for the Calder, man. Plus 6,000
Okay.
odds.
Man, we got some Blackhawks heavy bets today. I like it.
I mean,
Yeah.
our,
We're drinking
our
the
guest-
Kool-Aid, home cooking. I like it.
You gotta drink the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
I mean, after last night, I need something to hype up my spirits a
Fair,
little bit.
fair.
So.
When the Runzel Bedard connection delivers. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, our great guest James Murray mentioned that besides Demidov, he's the one guy from college hockey that he believes could challenge him for the Calder this year. And I couldn't agree more. The Hawks need Rinzel to be that guy this year to just continue all that momentum that he had in his NHL start last season, and pairing him on the power play with Bedard, a lot of opportunity to rack up points there and be the number one power play grouping potentially. So yeah, Rinzel for the Calder plus 6,000 odds, $10 wins you 600 and 100 would win you 6,000 on that line. So yeah,
I like those odds.
There we are for today. We got the Reds to beat Paul Skeens at home today on the money line. Bedard 40 plus goals on the year plus 800, and Sam Rinzel Calder plus 6,000.
I'm smashing those odds.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
Very nice. Wish you the best of luck with Weber's
Thank you.
wagers this week. All right, CHR enjoyers. I think that's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of CHR. And I want to apologize, for some technical difficulties today. We'll get that sorted. But no, again, if you're, listening to or watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that a lot. And, like the video, share it around. We appreciate that. And then if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, if you leave a 5-star rating review, that really just feeds us over here. We really appreciate that.
There you go.
All right. That's going to do it for today. See you Friday for some more CHR action.
See y'all. Take care.
see y'all. Take
All
care.
right.